Alright, hit the live thing. We're a couple minutes late because life is crazy and it never stops. It never stops. And that's fine. Don't panic. It's just a constant crushing weight of responsibility until you die. Not a problem. Not something you have to worry about. Just saying it's out there and it never stops. Never stops. And that's fine. And you're fine with it. And you're not stressed. I'm stressed. No, I'm not. You're stressed. No. No. Alright, hit the live thing. Okay, we have audio. It's Jay. Hey, Jay. So here's the thing, is my game is updating from the super cool Thrones of Decay live version, where they got the new mod out where all of the clan rats are Pepsi Man, and they offer you a nice cold Pepsi, and I'm going to the live version so we can stream these games. And the live version is full of stinky butts. So I'm not stalling for time while that update happens. I am very ready to go. I'm the most ready to go of any person ever. And Demon Archer comes in. Huzzah! I caught my first live stream. I'm losing my mind. I'm just going down a rabbit hole, and he's like, well, shit. Happy to be here. Okay. 3 minutes left on the patch. Speaking of the patch, I'm not allowed to give a review of Thrones of Decay. So this is going to sound an awful lot like a review, but it's not for legal reasons. I don't know what separates it from a review, but this shit is dope. Alright, this is a DLC I needed. My opinions on it, not like, again, it's not the whole DLC, it's just the units in it, and I don't know what separates a review from not, but it's awesome to pick up a DLC and you're like, what shit in this is going to be broken? What in this is just going to be meta and terrible to deal with? Like, it'll be cool for a little bit and then people get sick of it. And I'm like, oh, maybe. Hard maybe. Elspeth. And then the Thunder Barge. Another hard maybe on the land ship. And it's like, oh, that's the end of the list. That's it. Everything else in this DLC is balanced or maybe even slightly weak. Well, that's new. That's refreshing. All right, well, I'm gearing up for another let's do Shadows of Change thing where it's like blobs and single entities are the problem. Let's release a bunch of Mortis Engine anti-large duelists in the Mutalith Vortex Beast and the Incarnate Elemental Beasts. Oh, what? It's Nurgle's blobs got nerfed and his aggressive options got buffed/added with the DLC. Well, that's kind of cool. Oh, Slayers, Dwarves got some more Slayers while their more toxic playstyles were nerfed. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Oh, Empire War Wagon cheese? I don't want to call it just kite, because, like, War Wagons are cheesy as fuck. War Wagons got nerfed? Oh, that's pretty cool, and all the new units are, like, gun lines and stuff. And sure, like, the Thunder Barge is a swing and a miss. That shit's gonna be toxic. But, like, overall, the DLC was going in a good direction, and is really well balanced, which is new. And the free content you get is fucking amazing. So even if you don't buy the DLC, it's going to be awesome. Lamb Sauce, thank you for the $5. I'm doing my best out here. But yeah, no, like the free content, if you don't give CA a cent, the Dwarf campaign, fucking lit. The new Empire campaigns, also really awesome. The Nurgle campaigns, pretty much the same as they were, except now they don't suck ass. Okay, I mean, I'll take it. So I don't know. This DLC is great. And that's not a review for legal reasons. I don't know what separates it from a review, but it like, you know, and CA's got their things they got to do. They got their legal things or whatever. But I love how they're like, you can express your opinions, but don't review it. And I'm like, isn't your review just a collection of my opinions? Well, my opinion is it's great. So, yeah, I've been enjoying it. And if you've been a fan of this channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm not a CA shill. I'll call a spade a spade. I'll tell them when they fucked up, and people will get mad at me where they'll be like, "Don't scream so much. No one cares about multiplayer." But I'll fucking bitch about multiplayer balance stuff all the time. Right, go check out my patch notes on the Shadows of Change 2.0 where they buffed the Lizardmen, buffed Kislev, buffed everything. I was pretty mad. So, yeah. No, I'm legitimately pretty excited about this stuff. The new content's cool, the balance is cool. It's nice. It's nice. Okay. My update back to live patch is close enough to done that we can now actually start talking about this event and I can quit stalling. Who do you think is going to win this tourney? I'm on the Boomer team, so I got to rep the Boomers. What's your opinion on the real multiplayer mode as an expert Dom streamer? This patch has some good stuff for... I know you're trolling me, but also this patch does have some good stuff for domination and some good stuff for land battles, so it's pretty obvious they were listening to both sides. Since I am under embargo and I'm actually not allowed to talk about the DLC right now, I can only speculate on what you've seen on other channels. I can't go too much into details, but there's some good balanced stuff for both land battles and Dom in here. Are the Null and Ironsides any good? They're cool, they're not good. Those are different things. Okay. So what's going on today? We do have a fun little event. We have Bonerippers versus Boomers. So if you haven't really been checking out all the live streams, Bonerippers is the role we give to new players when they win a new player tournament. We call them a Bone Ripper because they used to be called a Rat Ogre. Bone Rippers are the super elite Rat Ogres that serve Gracie or Thanquol. So we have all these young guns, these supreme studs of the Warhammer multiplayer community. I have a bunch of old washed up has-beens on the right side. Older names that have been playing the game for a very, very long time. Some are super famous names, you know. Others are people that have just been playing the community for quite a while. So, yeah, got together a bunch of our new young blood winners and a bunch of old washed up has-beens, including myself, and we're just gonna see if it's age or beauty that will prevail this day. That band 3 pick map and pick 1 band 5, that doesn't really matter to you guys, but if you care, in this top area, all these guys banned 3 factions and picked what map they're going to fight on. And then these guys would pick what faction they wanted to play, banning 5 from their opponent. Right? In the middle, I picked people who have very obvious favorites that they're famous for, like Bwags on his Wood Elves, Rider of Rohan on his High Elves. And I just did a bit of a show match. Lenorm isn't super famous for his Skaven, but he can play him. And he's just a good dude. And Brutus is very famous for their vampire counts. So those are just show matches that no pick and ban. And then on the bottom, it swaps. Right. So we'll see who wins, who loses. And update's done. Nice. Launching Warhammer. Let's get scorecard updated while I'm here. Since people, in these events, when I just keep track on the Photoshop, they get mad because they join mid-game and they're like, who's winning? Bonerippers! Stinky Boomers. Alright. While I load up the first replay, our rosters tonight are Pigman 202 the Best versus Strat Game, Segos versus Parthian Horse Archer, Stead versus Tits Demonin, Olaf the Moose versus Coops, Sipa versus Big JP, Nerd versus Butcherbird, Nurgles PA versus Tequila Sunset, Bwags versus Rider Rohan, Brutus versus Lenorm, Nicklous versus myself, the Hummus Boy, Calamity versus Raced, Salinator and Papa Palpatine, Zegsy and its current year, Shogunuk and Stormrunner, and then Tim the Bone Ripper versus Blood Penguin, because we had an uneven number and Tim the Wilder did offer to play in the event. So Tim and Blood Penguin, he's a questionable Bone Ripper, seeing as how he's either the best or the second best player in the domination community, depending on what tournament it is. So, all right, let's get this going, huh? Game 1. Strat Game and Pigman 202 the Best. Strat Game on the Skaven versus Pigman's Tomb Kings. I believe in the oldies, them young's gotta learn the breaking bones still got life in them. Okay. For this matchup, we have a front line of Clan Rats and Plague Monks. I like Plague Monks here quite a lot. Then we have Rat Ogres for some extra beef, Natty Boobo Sharpshooters, a Warlord on a Brood Horror, a Warlock Engineer with Howling Warpgale and Flensing Ruin, 2 Jezzails total, and some Clan Rats. And aside for Pigman, we have 4 Carrion, 2 Necropolis Knights, 4 Ushapti melee version, 5 Nehekar Warriors, and Ark in the Black with Spirit Leech and Fate of View. Warlord on a Brood Horror is fast and good at supporting the Skaven frontline, but he is also rather tanky and has a bit of regen, so he's nice versus Spirit Leech casters. Pigman brought a lot of mass, though, and Strat has no globes. Without globes, the Necropolis Knights might be a little hard to shut down. Jezzails do take out almost a full Ushapti on the charge. Rat Ogres will pile in on Carrion. Getting good damage down on those little birds. And the Ushapti have hit the front line. Plague Monks should be able to clear out Nehekar Warriors without too much issue, but it looks like they're being pulled back to fight the Ushapti right now. Necropolis Knights so far not really getting in, just stuck fighting the front line, which is great for strat game. In comes the Fate of Buna. The reason I've stopped taking elite shooters of any kind is Fate of Buna just deletes them instantaneously, so that's, you know, 1,300 value for Ark in the Black. The Tomb Kings have shut down one of the Jezzails. It should literally kill them, if I remember correctly. Yes, it does. Alright, they're dead. Arkin, 1,100 value off 1 Fate of Buna. Yeah, that's really fucking rough for the Skaven. Anyway, they melee Ushapti are getting shredded right now. Out of the 4 this game started with, I see 1 that still has good HP. There's 2. 2 that have good HP left in them. Carrion still suicide diving on the Warplock Jezzails, and not a lot is here to peel for them. They have some Clan Rats they're trying to rely on, but they do get routed regardless. Tomb Kings are slightly ahead on the balance of power. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not sure if that's entirely true, to be honest. They've lost a lot of Ushapti. That's a Skeleton Warrior summon, so it'll go away soon. Depends. Plague Monks are trying to fight their way out of Nehekar Warriors, but they're surrounded, so leadership is dipping quite a bit. And they rely pretty heavily on Strength in Numbers, which just faded. Yeah, Strength in Numbers gives them more melee defense. That's quite nice. Now they're feeling a little... Oh, they got it back. Okay, yeah, they still have it. +8 melee defense as long as it's active, really helps them against the Nehekar Warriors. Those 2 Ushapti are dead, so we're down to 1 Ushapti left. Pigman does still have a Carrion flying around. It looks like the other 3 Carrion are all dead. So the Tomb Kings have lost a lot of things that dive the backline of this Skaven. Necropolis Knights at half HP, the others at 3/4. So they have taken a little bit of damage here and there. Skaven are relying on a bit of a man-tide. Like, just a shit ton of Clan Rats. Clan Rats with Spears, Clan Rats regular, Plague Monks, Rat Ogres, Warlord. They had very little shooting, just 2 Jezzails. And one of them got Fate of Buna right away, which is pretty rough. The other one's got suicide dove by Carrion. Any changes affecting High Elves Knighthood? Yeah, Eltharian's Griffin mount got more HP. So that's kind of nice. Bounce power is equalizing a little bit, and this Brood Horror is going to go poke Arkin. Arkin is slower than the Brood Horror, but we'll see if that amounts to much. Usually the Warlords just kind of wander around, but he is actually getting some good shots. And in comes a Flensing Ruin Overcast onto 2 Nehekar Warriors and a Necropolis Knight, and I guess it'll poke this Ushapti a little bit too. I'm kind of curious that didn't go on to Arkin. Like, you just want to poke him out, and it is much more effective against single entities than multi-entity models. Like, it's doing a little bit of damage to this Necropolis Knight, but honestly not a lot. I don't know. I am really biased, but I only like Flensing Ruins that are cast as single entities. Everything else just kind of feels meh. At least he got like 3 or 4 units with it, though. But yeah, after an overcasted Flensing Ruin, only having 400 value in the Warlock Engineer is kind of what I was worried about. Because he just has to tax Arkin's HP pool, is really what he has to do here. All the Clan Rats are routing, even those that are above half HP are routing away. The Ushapti summon that was popped up in here has taken a lot of damage, though there is still a full health Ushapti over here. Necropolis Knights are chasing off the Skaven, and the Skaven's pitiful fucking leadership abandons them yet again. At that point, the game is looking a little over. As long as these Carrion get committed by Pigman to chasing stuff down, it actually doesn't look like they are. They are going into the fight, which is... I guess they got it anyway because they're going to rout the Warlord at, like, literally full HP. But, yeah, they should be, like, guaranteeing the win by chasing off these Skaven. Because that's the part about abusing their low leadership is you got to, you know, capitalize on it when they actually do rout. Good Spirit Leech onto the Warlord. Looks like we have another Flensing Rune getting cast. This is a great one. This is an amazing Flensing Rune. Hits both Necropolis Knights, hits Arkan, and the remaining Necropolis Warriors. Oof. It's not attached to Arkan, though, so good job by Pigman to just get out of it. Still a good cast. Still like it overall, but good job by Pigman recognizing he needed to just move. And the Skaven are being allowed to rally on the outskirts, so a bit of a whoopsie here from the Tomb Kings, giving them a second life. And the Carrion... One is finally chasing Radogr, the other one's trying to help out against the Warlord, but his leadership should be stable enough that adding a Carrion to the mix isn't going to really change anything. Plague Monks and Clan Rats rejoining the fight. I'm getting a little concerned here for the Tomb Kings. Now, it depends on how many more Flensing Ruins we have. He doesn't have two. He certainly doesn't have two Overcast, but maybe if he has one Overcast left in him, he can do enough damage to Arkan to keep him honest. Another Spirit Leech onto the Warlord, whose healing cap hasn't appeared just yet. The long game is starting to favor the Skaven. If they can buy time to build up Winds of Magic for another Flensing Rune, if they can buy time to heal up their Warlord, if they can buy time to get these Clan Rats to slowly filter in and spear the Necropolis Knights. And a Carrion abandoned chasing those Radogrs, allowing them to come back. Oof. Oof. When people tell me Skaven are strong, I'm like, just rout them and then chase their units off the battlefield. And people are like, listen, I routed them, then I fucked off and let them come back. And I'm like, that's how you lost. It's not because Skaven are strong, it's because you didn't fucking punish them. Another Spirit Leech onto the Warlord, who's currently fighting with Arkan, but the Warlock Engineer is going to rout at 1/3 HP. Warlord's also thinking about routing at a 1/3 HP. Radogrs do get a charge back in. They're going to start dealing with those Necropolis Knights. There's still a full health Ushapti. There's still a full health Nekar Warrior. Skeleton Warrior's fake. Army lost its hits. GG. For Strat, his Warlord tanked it out, but his Jezzails got shut down immediately. So if you care in this matchup, I've moved to just taking 2 or 3 Warp Lightning Cannons, because Warp Lightning Cannons don't give a fuck about Spirit Leech or Fate of Buna, so it's pretty whatever, and you still get the range pressure you need. A couple Plague Monks to clear out the front line like we saw here. They got plenty of kills on the Skeletons, and they got plenty of value. There was just not a lot of follow-up for it. Clan Rats did okay, but I tend to skip them. I just go with Plague Monks and Skaven Slaves. Wherever the Plague Monks are, they'll win. Wherever the Skaven Slaves are, the Skeletons will take too long to kill them, so it doesn't really matter. It's not worth your time. Radogrs are fine. I take a couple Wolf Rats just to deal with Carrion. They're really good at saturating it on a target and like taking it out quickly. The Radogrs have armor piercing, which is nice, but Carrion aren't actually that armored. They're just annoying, but yeah. It's tough. Like, I've been getting a lot of tournament wins recently, and I have done so by just stop playing Skaven. Like... I can't, dude. I can't get them to fucking win. They're so easy to dominate. When other people pick Skaven into me, I'm like, oh, nice, free win. As long as I have Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech, I get to win. And a lot of factions have Death Magic. A lot of factions have Death Magic. Okay. That was game 1. So that goes to Pigman. And then I'll find Segos versus Parthian Horse Archer. That is 1-0 lead to the Bonerippers. Oh, actually, that is the thing I should bring up. I don't know how this ends. The only game I know how it goes is my game. I asked the players not tell me who won. I just got a bunch of replays. Will weapons team for Skaven get better at shooting things? I tested rattling guns and didn't seem to be the case. Alright, for Segos versus Parthian Horse Archer. For Segos, we do have a whole bunch of Centaurs for the Beastmen. Some melee, a lot have throwing axes. Harpies in the background. We have 5 archers, the Butchers of Kalkengard, a Traitor King caster, and then Spearmen and Zongor herds in the front line. For the other side of the Vampire Coast, we have a bunch of pistol mobs, Mourngulls, and animated hulks. Mourngulls, interestingly enough. 4 Sirens, and then Celostra Diraphon with both of her summons. Okay. So he's going for like a mass terror kind of thing, because Sirens do cause terror, as does Celostra. Neat. Centaurs dive straight in on the pistol mobs. Going to get a lot of damage onto those guys. The Mourngulls have been spotted by the vanguarding Centaurs, so none of the Mourngulls are a secret right now, including the Night Terrors. Centaurs are going to just peel away from those guys. Don't really want anything to do with it. Archers already firing in. Sirens, with 55% physical resistance, they're kind of tanky to the archer fire, but not terribly so. Damn Knights Errant are in. They might charge some archers, though it depends on how much damage they actually do on impact. I feel like sometimes these guys don't really do that much on impact. Like that. So it'll take them a hot minute. Most of the pistol mobs are dead or dying. The animated hulks and sirens are teaming up to fight the Butchers of Kalkengard. Not much issue there. Centaurs get a big amount of damage on the charge with sirens. Even though the sirens have the physical resistance, the impact damage of charges is still usually enough to get quite a lot of value onto them. The Night Terrors and other Mourngulls are continuing to pursue the Centaurs out into the flanks, which I guess they're distracting them from the sirens. That's okay. We'll see if they can hold on. If they can use their hunger to regenerate up, that'll be good, but they're just taking so much fucking damage on the charge, and that's a 1,200 gold unit getting slapped to pieces right now, and it's just dead. It's flat out dead. Mourngulls and animated hulks going to try and isolate out the Ungor Raiders. The Damn Knight's Errant Summon has almost killed an Ungor Raider with its time on this earth. I haven't seen any crab summons yet from Parthian. Is currently just casting out his Tide Call to get more damage done over there. Things are looking good for the Beastmen. They're really liking this. They're withstanding Celostra's early bounce of power bumps for summons. Took out some expensive Night Terrors. The Sirens are not doing particularly well on HP either. All of the pistols are dead. So you can really stall the game. Cycle charge, pick out any remainders, use Traitorkins on Celostra just to get her HP down. She has a low HP pool and not a lot of armor, so Traitorkins are pretty good against her. I have a ping, why? Traitorkin cast on the animated hulks and Mourngulls is interesting. I don't see why you wouldn't use them on Celostra. But the Beastmen have cleaned up the north side pretty good. They lost their backline doing it. I think they're generally fine with it. Their archers got done, but they needed to get done. Sirens still being picked off by Centaurs. And we're looking to get to an early 2-0 lead for the Bonerippers. Boomers everywhere in disarray. How many DLC units going to break the game? Just one, Thunder Barge, and we're probably going to fucking ban that thing in my events. I still have to talk to the admin team about it, but like... And I can't spoil something because a different content creator found out something about the Thunder Barge that I didn't know, so I don't want to steal his thunder. But there is a bug with the Thunder Barge, and watch Tactical Itch's channel if you want to figure out what that is in the coming days. Nice Tide Call down the line of the Ungor Spearman herds. Celostra's doing what she can to bail out his bad situation. She did use one of her 2 Rod of Promethean summons. And that's going to be a nasty Traitorkin. Is it Overcast? No, it's just regular, but still pretty good Traitorkin. Kills off all this stuff. Sirene's going to get rear charged by Centaurs while being shot by archers. Engineer Hero might be overtuned, but not broken. I don't know. I've used him 3 games, and he felt whatever. Like, not weak, but not game-breakingly crazy. And that is GG for Sagos. Basic Centaurs did well. Centaurs throwing axes also did fine. The archers got routed pretty quickly by Parthian, but then they didn't have much to follow it up. Sirens struggled. Mourngulls also struggled real bad. Animalaholics didn't do great, and then the Pistol Mobs got beset immediately by the Beastmen. The Beastie Boys. Okay. Delete that so I don't cast it twice. Give Sagos the green checkmark of doom, and then we have Stead. I suppose that checkmark kind of looks like it's dead too. Boop, boop. There, we'll reduce the size. That should be a little boop, easier to deal with. Alright, Stead. This is a little crazy. Demons of Chaos versus the Greenskins. Stead on the Greenskins. Tids Demonin on the Demons of Chaos. Live or replays? Replays! Is Nurgle still D tier? Nah, I'd put him in B. He's fine. You think Landship is broken? I don't think it's from the replays I've seen at the Empire and Turn channel. It seems strong, but not broken. Elspeth looked pretty crazy. She is, but you have to remember her cost. If you're taking her on her dragon, she's actually like 3,000 some gold, which is crazy high. Like, I don't know. You do need to remember that. She's more expensive on her dragon than Scarbrand. So, yeah. The new Nurgle Cav is any good? Yes. Yes, it is. It's not like OP, but it's good. Alright. Demons of Chaos with Greenskins. Let's focus up. No more DLC shit. No one cares about that. We have 5 blue horrors, 5 pink horrors, including the Sour Guts. And we do have a Bringers of Beguilement, ROR, Demonettes, Screamers of Zinj, Frontline of Nurglings, and a Herald of Nurgle with Locus of Fecundity, Stream of Corruption, and Miasma of Pestilence. On the other side for the Greenskins, it's Frontline of Gobos, some Orc Boy Biggins on the back line, a bunch of Archers, which are Orc Arr Boys, some Spider Riders too. Orc Shaman with Brainburster and Fists of Gork. Night God Morboss with his Rampage and Net, and the Rogue Idol for clearing out infantry. There's an awful lot of Daka here, which normally the Rogue Idol doesn't like, but blue and pink horrors do not have good armor piercing at all, so you might just be able to tank it out, who knows. Stream of Corruption down the line, gonna get rid of the Goblins. And then the blue and pink horror fire trying to clear out those goblins, but Nurglings already demonic instability crumbling. Screamers did get a good countercharge into these Orc Horror Boy Biggins who are currently fighting on top of blue horrors. And something else is happening here. It's Fists of Gork onto the Orc Boy Biggins. Better stats, but also more importantly, magic damage to get past the physical resistance of all of those spooky, scary demons. Goblin frontline thinks it has better things to do and starts leaving as the Death Creepers and other Orc Armor Boys come under fire from the blue and pink horrors. First Wa is Elves, Bringers Beguilement, chase these guys off. They wish they had their Rampage back, but with the new way Rampage works, that might be a little toxic to have constant Rampage. The Herald of Nurgle is on his Palanquin, which I didn't notice. The Palanquin does nothing for him besides give him a bit more HP, but it doesn't actually provide any AoE buffs that you might think it would. So the blue horror is already fading away in certain areas. The Nurgling frontline is in tatters, in shambles even. But the pink horrors are so far still mostly online. Yeah, all 5 of them are still up and at them. The Herald of Nurgle is quickly going to get rid of the last Goblin. We still have 2 Screamers. I thought there was only 1, but apparently there's 2. This one's thinking about demonic instability crumbling just because it suffered an ooey owie, but it should be fine, so get over it. And we now have Nurglings scuttling out to meet the Goblins in combat, rolling their way towards the Death Creepers, but the Death Creepers are going to get away. They'll be fine. Don't fret for the Death Creepers. As Orc Boy Biggins have bitten off way more they can chew fighting the Bringers of Beguilement. That's not going to work for you, dude. Bringers of Beguilement are here to fuck you up. What is poisoning them right now? Oh, it's the Death Creepers. Arrows occasionally do that. Okay. Well, the Orc Boy Biggins are getting messed up. Greenskins pull slightly ahead on the balance of power. Screamers get a Locus of Fecundity. They really needed that as they're under constant missile fire. They dive down into the Orc Boy Biggins, ruining their charge. Trying to save the pink horrors from a terrible fate. Night Goblin Warboss is here. Has he used any of his rampages? He's used 1 somewhere. Okay. Tormentor's Sword netting the Screamers in place so they can't back off while they're being shot at by Archers and surrounded by Orc Boy Biggins. Herald Nurgle is also fighting his way out. The pink horrors still fighting back a bit. The Greenskins have more longevity, but that's more about them being a mortal race than really any attribute of theirs. Just the fact that your units don't get to 1/3 HP and decide to leave the game is pretty powerful. Despite a bad moon, popped on some more barbarians just as they start to rout. There's, of course, other ones here that are getting a little bit of bonus from it, and then they rout, so never mind. Never mind, nothing matters. Still have a lot of pink horrors, 4 of them, in fact. Bringers of Guilement have a decent amount of HP. Considering how elite they are, it's not like they're going to break anytime soon. And the Herald Nurgle is taking a fight with the Night Goblin War Boss, and they have very similar stats. This is actually a pretty even duel. Scream is going to fade away. Archers will soon probably turn their fury onto the Herald Nurgle, offer their Night Goblin War Boss a bit of support. Pink Horrors might get rid of these Orc Arboys, though. Oh, and the Rogue Idol, he might want to say something. The Herald Nurgle is magically slower than the Rogue Idol, which is not a thing I thought I would get to say, and there goes 400 HP. But now the Rogue Idol is serving as a nice meaty shield for the Herald Nurgle. Still have 3 pink horrors, including the Sour Guts. Nope, 4. 4 pink horrors, including the Sour Guts. Bringers of Guilement still fighting the Orc Shaman, kind of wrecking his shit. Beating up on this fool as he tries to run away. They are significantly faster than he is on foot, so they should actually be able to run him down. Speaking of getting run down, the Herald Nurgle is now surrounded by Orc Barbarians again. Another Waw is out as the Rogue Idol T-poses on his own troops because he's always had this problem, but he can't really swing if there's anybody remotely in the vicinity. There's a 5th pink horror, and it's way the fuck over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All 5 pink horrors still here as this pink horror is going to try and bail out the Herald Nurgle from a bad situation as the Rogue Idol is trying to close in on him and end his pathetic Nurgle life. Bringers of Guilement were unable to kill the Orc Shaman, but they are going down, swinging against the Death Creepers and all these goblins who are routing for like the umpteenth time. So we're probably going to see those goblins start shattering pretty soon here. Tormentor Sword nets the Herald Nurgle in place as he takes a power fist to the back of his chair. Night Goblin War Boss is also chasing him down. Meanwhile, I'm watching the goblins in the background to see if any of them are shattering or if I'm a filthy liar. Pink Horror is still firing at the Orc Arboys who are trying to rejoin the fight. And this Pink Horror has lost the sauce a little bit. Needs to get back into that fight. Needs to get fire in. As these Pink Horrors are trying to shoot at the Night Goblin War Boss, not really concerning themselves with the fate of the Rogue Idol, but another Rampage is cast onto the Herald of Nurgle. Does he have any Locus of Cunnity's F? He has 1, so as soon as he stops rampaging, which is like now, he probably needs to throw that out. He wants to save it for getting near his Pink Horrors, but I don't think he has that luxury. I think he's going to die here. He's going to need to do something about that. Greenskins have a lot of people left. Even though they're all severely damaged, they will keep coming back and just poking away at you. Oh, and the Skull of Kaloth has discouraged, so it's getting the Sour Guts even lower on leadership. Herald Nurgle's running, but he's taking damage. His leadership's faltering. He gets to some pink horrors. He's starting to demonic instability crumbling. If he has a Locus of Fecundity, now is the time. But he holds on for now. Might be on cooldown, to be fair. But it probably isn't. Army losses hits. And I can't say I disagree. The pink horrors were out of ammo, and then the Rogue Idol could just kill everything. Is it a limited cast? Yeah. She can only heal twice, and it's 10% each time. The dragon? Yeah, her dragon mount, Tequila, is 1,700 gold. Yeah. I personally just took her on her horse. And even then, she was like 1,600 gold, but you're still a death caster, and you don't have to take a caster hero. For Tids Demonin, his pink horrors did pretty well. His screamers, he handled them well, but they didn't actually get that much value, which sometimes happens to screamers. I never know when a screamer is going to pop off and carry the game or just going to do nothing and suck and die. Blue horrors and nurglings mostly just bit the dust. For Stead, his Rogue Idol was a good centerpiece that did a lot of good stuff. Orc Barbarians were annoying, but didn't get a lot of value out. Orc Arboys, decent value. Spider Riders did fine. Goblins did pretty well, so GG's. GG's, lads. Well done. Who won that? Stead? Oh, God. Okay, he's one of the things. Boo. Boo! Boo. 3-0 start to the Bonerippers. Fine. Can Coops beat Olaf the Moose? Let's find out. Boom. No, wrong screen. What? Why would there be a transition? I don't want a transition. Damn it. There we go. Lizardmen from Olaf versus Beastmen from Coops. 3-0 start. Are dwarves getting Ulrika? Jury's out. I don't know what I should say on that matter, so jury's out. Okay. For the Lizardmen of Olaf the Moose, we have 2 Ancient Stegodons, Court of Waddle, Sacred Croc score ROR, then some Skink Cohorts with Javelins and Skink Skirmishers. Feral Cold Ones, a Life Salon with Regrowth and Earthblood, and then 1 Temple Guard to keep him safe. I want the Skaven monsters or monsters in general to get buffed, like Rogue Idols, Ice Bears, and Great Unclean Ones, and Plague Toad Dragons. That's a form of more Ascension. Honestly, you could just decrease their cost. Just make them cost effective, and then they'll be fine. But most of them are strangely priced, like they're going to carry a whole game, and that's never true. Anyway, for the Beastmen of Coops, we have 4 Centaurs with throwing axes, 3 Ungor Raiders, a Gorbel, a Wildscaster Traderkin, and then 5 Ungor Spearman Herds. Traderkin is going to do great if it targets the single entities, because the enemy is all blobbed up. You can also hit multi-entities for free. Why is that skink glowing blue? It stopped now, but I didn't like it. Why was he glowing blue? My first thought is the Spawnkin, but then why isn't this one glowing blue? I don't know. I don't know and I don't like it. I demand that it stop. Centaur is going to charge in, but they do take a shit ton of darts on the way, and then they get countercharged by Feral Cold Ones. They are not going to enjoy this fight. Probably want to back off until the archers and infantry get in range. Other Centaurs charging in, but they also take a lot of damage. Looks like they're just going for it. Relying on pure Beastman muscle to get through these fools. Dwarves won't get Ulrika, turn converted to error, otherwise break it. Okay. Alright, Centaurs still fighting with these Feral Cold Ones, but one of the Centaurs is already routed off, 2 of the Centaurs have routed off, and the 3rd and 4th are on their way. There goes the 3rd, there goes the 4th. Now the Centaurs with throwing axes are getting pulled up, but a little late on that engagement, so they lost all of their Centaurs quite a bit earlier. Skink Courts of Javelins breaking through the Ungor front line, harassing the archers a little bit. We do have our first Blood Statue to spite out onto some of the throwing axes who are falling back now away from the Feral Cold Ones. Bit of a tough start here for the Beastmen. Where are the Traderkins? As our throwing axes and archer pour in a bit of fire, that is quite nice, but we do need the Traderkins to start. I wonder if you should target the Stegodons or the Slon. Probably the Slon. Just kill him and then get the Stegodons in the late game as the Court of Waddle Crocsores are moving in. There comes the first Traderkin. It is Overcast. Does hit just the Slon, then he gives himself damage resistance and a heal. And then a Banishment is going to catch a couple of the Ungor Raiders. If she can land the breath attack, she can deal a lot of damage. Yeah. But it's a breath attack. Sometimes they're janky as shit. Anyway, Great British Wild taking some damage. Stegodon chases him down. Court of Waddle are also here to support. Balance of power shifting further in the favor of the Lizardmen, and I must say I agree. These are taking a lot of damage. Feral Cold Ones find their way onto some Centaurs throwing axes who are taking the Bold Warhammer 3 single line formation. Make themselves even more powerful than ever before. Another Earthblood is out to heal up the Slon, his Temple Guard, his Ancient Stegodon, and the Feral Cold Ones. as the Gorbel does find a little bit of a fight. He is surrounded by Temple Guard. Could be risky, but I think he's just got to YOLO it and try and take out this Slon for the glory of the Beastmen, as even some of the Ungor Spearman herds are starting to shatter. Feral Coldblood still getting good fights with Centaurs throwing axes, wall, skink cohorts with javelins, and skink skirmishers support, providing that poison, but also just a little bit of DPS. Slon kites his way through the Temple Guards. The Gorbel is now stuck fighting all those elite halberds alone. That is GG. For Olaf the Moose, Temple Guard did well. His single entities did fine. Nothing too crazy about them. Just kind of hung out. Yeah, I think it was the skink cohorts with javelins that did a lot. Yeah, overall fine. I guess it was pretty spread out value. For Coops, just rough early engagements with his first Centaurs, and then when they were all gone, it was just throwing axes trying to kite it out. But I feel like throwing axes don't even have that much good damage against Lizardmen for some reason. I can't tell if it's like a bunch of hidden missile resist or something, but I feel like just throwing at like Bastiladons and Stegodons and Slons doesn't really do anything. Very well. Very well. 4-0 start for the Bonerippers. Who am I looking for now? Sipa and Big JP. Oh god, it's a Kislev mirror. Okay. I mean, if you're gonna play Kislev, might as well mirror. Kislev mirror! This can be kind of fun. It's less toxic when both sides are using the same stuff. Oh boy, talking about the same stuff. Like, literally almost the same stuff. What up, Black Knight? How you guys doing? All right, for the dudes, for Sipa and the Bonerippers, we have a bunch of Streltsy, Kossars, and Armored Kossars for the front line, 4 Winged Lancers, an Ice Witch of Tempest with Blizzard and Hailstorm. On the other side for Big JP, we also have a bunch of Winged Lancers, but we do have a Patriarch for some of that sweet, sweet healing, and another Ice Witch of Tempest with just Blizzard and then the Leopard Summon, and then a front line of Kislevite Warriors, Kossars with Spears, regular Kossars, and Armored Kossars. So much more infantry on the red side. Well, melee infantry. I don't know, man. Both sides are very, very similar. What do you want from me? Sipa does have more shooting with his dedicated Streltsy and Kossars and Armored Kossars. JP's going to have to get use out of his Kislevite Warriors. They might just have to sprint into it. Are we 4-0 for whoever submitted cast? No, Strat Games cast. He submitted a loss. There comes a Blizzard. I wonder if it's overcast this early into the game, but it is going to catch 2 units. Bam! That was a good catch, too. Armored Kossars and Kossars. Green side is getting a much better engagement thus far. I don't think that's an overcast Blizzard. I think that's undercast. Still did good damage, but not like the literal unit deletion that you can get with an overcast. Wing Lance are starting to charge out into the Kislevite Warriors, going to proc some of their Buyer Bloods, and then most likely back off and wait to actually route them, as these other Wing Lancers are going to get kind of side-charged by these guys. How big of a problem are the Slon spell options compared to their HP? Slon are just amazing in every single way. In the current live patch, they're the best Lord in the game by far. Yeah. Anyway, Wing Lancers winning a fight down in the trees. This is the first fight that is really going the Red Kislev's way. As you can see, Red Kislev is routing away from the top side of the fight pretty badly. They have spent money on a Patriarch who has not been able to even get involved or do any of his healing yet, so I think that's like 1,200 gold that just isn't getting to participate in the fight yet, while Sipa's wider army is just pushing in from every direction and really shoving Big JP back. Balance power is shifted against the Red Kislev. I do agree. The Wing Lancers are now trying to get into the back line. The Snow Leopard Summon is out and it's just harassing the Wing Lancers of the blue side. Or green side, whatever. It's fine. Minus 1 HP. 1k HP will be nice. They'll still be very good. Oh, yeah. They'll still be very good, but much more killable. Red is coming back quite a bit on the balance of power, which is a little shocking. This full health Wing Lancer can probably just roll up the line and start killing off things. But because the Kislev Warriors getting into melee, they do have strong armor piercing and decent stats. Armored Kossars have decent stats as well, but they rely on their armor to keep them safe. So the Kislev Warriors like to trade pretty well into those guys for what it's worth. We are getting a little bit more melee. Patriarch getting involved, and he can help the longevity of this fight quite a bit with his healing if he can get a couple Armored Kossars clumped up to get some good heals off. Do have Kossite Dervishes charging back in to harass these guys, but the Armored Kossars have more than enough leadership to withstand this brawl. These Armored Kossars marching into combat, getting poked down a little bit. Silver Shields and 80 armor will keep them mostly safe from that small arms pistol fire. However, and rest in peace, this Wing Lancer that's already shattered but just sprinted into a hailstorm. Took very little damage, but it's got to be demoralizing when you've already decided you're done fighting for the day. Still get murdered on the back end. For the green team, a lot of Kossars and Streltsy on this far side, just trying to clean up the last of JP's armored Kossars that are harassing them, then they can all turn their focus down here and sweep down this way. So for Big JP and the red Kislev, they're going to have to make this south side count so they can face the enemy charge square on, but we do still have some Streltsy of Sippa shooting in the sides, and without any mobility left to his name, Big JP is going to be in a bit of trouble here. I think Sippa is the last mobility with this almost dead Wing Lancer, so both sides really did deplete each other's reserves. Darko, yes. I do think Nurgle will be pretty mid, which is fine. I think Nurgle's well balanced after the DLC. Not too strong, not too weak. Looks like JP is throwing his own Blizzard out onto the Kossars. Should do pretty decent damage to them. They already used a lot of their ammo, but, I mean, you are taking an entire unit off the field. It's never a bad thing. And that's what Overcast damage looks like, by the way. In comes another Blizzard. This one's just killing some already dead Kossars, so definitely a big win on the magic trade here from JP. JP's doing a really good job fighting his way back into this game. He's doing all right. I do worry, though. There's a lot of green troops still on the board, and a Patriarch is very supportive. When you just get stuck fighting like infantry, it really doesn't do that well. So what do we have left for Red Kislev? Armored Kossars, Kossars, Armored Kossars, and then the two heroes. They really gotta get some amazing heals out of the Patriarch, and they only have one left. So they're gonna have to get a heal with both Armored Kossars. So they gotta cluster up. Armored Kossars go to fight Armored Kossars. Brother against brother. It looks like JP is grouping up for that big heal. On the side of Sippa, you have some stragglers reforming lines, and they do have ammunition, so they'll be firing in. Of course, he still has his full HP Lord, and then we have some Streltsy and some Archer Kossars. Still favor Sippa, though JP made this a much closer game after the start. My last experience that Magic as a whole seems the most finicky balance-wise, is I guess Slans think he made with a whole lot more options. Yeah, I keep making this comparison, but I do think it's apt. Magic is like, if this was chess, Magic is a queen. So it's very important on the battlefield, so if you can get the best caster or the most efficient caster or like the cheapest caster, it's just huge. Factions that have to pay a lot of money for their casters usually suffer. There's a big Silix Lullaby, but it looks like a Hailstorm is going to try and hit both of these clumped up units. They'll do a good bit of poke damage, and then Sippa just has good surrounding fire. JP's own Kossars, unbreakable for the moment. And a Blizzard happens to hit the Streltsy. Decent little poke in. Just kind of checking around. Do have some Wing Lancers coming back, and JP is just going to surrender from there. Close game. For Sippa's Wing Lancers, didn't get a ton of value, but they were around. Armored Kossars, regular Kossars did fine. Streltsy did okay. For Big JP, his Lord got some pretty solid value. His Wing Lancers got mostly punked. His Armored Kossars got better value than his counterparts. And then Kislev Warriors did okay. And his Archer Cossars also did fine. GG. Another win for these filthy Bonerippers. So what are we at? It's 5, right? Yeah, okay. It's 5. But I'm curious what the total score has to be. I didn't keep track of how many people signed up for this thing. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 games left, so there's 15 people total. Yes. 15 people total. You need 8 to win, but the Bonerippers are already off to 5-0 start. Jesus! Let's turn this shit around, boomers! What the fudge? Nerd versus Butcherbird. Alright, Butcherbird's gotta have this. He's gotta. He talks too much trash not to have this. Nerd on the Dark Elves. Who did Strat lose to and how? Pigman 202. And he played Skaven, that's why. Shocker, plays Skaven and loses. Wild stuff. Alright, Dark Elves versus Wood Elves. Let's go. Butcherbird on the Wood Elves versus Nerds Dark Elves. We have 4 Dark Riders, 4 Cold One Knights, so a lot of cav, and then a front line of shielded infantry and bleak swords, some Black Arc Corsairs to back them up, and a Soul Stealer caster on her dragon. On the other side, for the Wood Elves, 4 Glade Riders, 1 Sister of the Thorn, a bunch of Wild Riders and Glade Riders with Spears. We have a Glade Lord with Pravenoth Rayma, and then a Spellsinger of Life with Earthblood, and it is a kite build. What else did not bring literally any infantry? I don't see any. No infantry. Dark Riders trying to charge after the Wood Elves, but find themselves outnumbered in the cav fight and starting to fall back. The Dark Elves, relying on just melee, they have literally no range units, is going to be very tough. If Butcherbird just straight up took a fight in melee with all of his cav versus all the Dark Elf cav, the Dark Elf cav would probably win. But if he cycle charges or really abuses his numbers advantage, he'll be fine. Because he outnumbers them. I just 4 Cold Knights and 4 Dark Riders, if they just get to sit and bump and grind with Wild Riders, yeah, they'll probably win, but Dark Riders come out again to try and stop the kiting, and they get countercharged by Wild Riders instead. The Cold Knights are trying to get here, but they're a little slower, a little more cumbersome. The 85 speed of the Wood Elves versus the 66 speed of these Cold Knights. They aren't here in time to save that Dark Rider, and the other one is still trying to be bait, but the Wood Elves just back off. They're not really having it. And they charge him with some Glade Riders who do have the Woodsman trait, so as long as they're in the woods, they don't suffer the cav penalties that the Dark Elves will. Do get a bit of a fight down here. Now we have 2 Glade Riders offering support, including poison, but also just DPS support and healing support. So the Wood Elves are really trying to kill this Golden Knight while it's overextended. Up here, however, Golden Knights, they get debuffed for the Curse of Honor here, bound from the Sisters of Thorn. They're still winning the fight, though, and that was kind of my point, is if you just straight up take a fight, even with debuff spells and stuff, the Golden Knights will come out on top eventually over the Wood Elves. But Bird's usually taking pretty good charges or 2v1 fights. In the distance, you have Pravenoth Rayma onto one of the Cold One Knights. Now, there's not Waywatchers or something to punish that net plus missile resist shred, but it does allow for some free charges in from the Wild Hunters of Kronos and other Wild Riders as these Cold One Knights charge back in. That's a Soul Stealer, right? Yeah, a nice Soul Stealer in from the Dark Elves. It doesn't hit that other Wild Rider, but it was just poke onto the Wild Hunters of Kronos as she herself dives in and gets a big old charge attack or 2 onto them, getting a bit of damage with the Glade Riders continue to fire in. The Dark Elves infantry has been literally useless up to this point. It hasn't gotten any fights except for right here. And right here, the Cold Knights are still holding on as they're surrounded by a whole bunch of Dark Elves. Wait, yes. Cold Knights are surrounded by Wood Elves, but they're still getting good value out here and there. And the Wild Riders throw down Shield of Thorns as they fight the Dark Riders. Glade Riders running away from Dark Riders because everything's a rider, but don't worry, the Wild Riders and the Cold One Knights, hey, at least we have one Knight. Cold Knights are running down these Glade Riders and whatnot. Dark Elf Infantry still just trying to find a place to be, and in comes Murderous Prowess for the Cold Knights, who also have their predatory senses, primal instincts active, so more stats and more leadership for them across the board. And over here, we still have Dark Riders fighting with Glade Riders. Glade Riders got the free charge there, but they're about to get rear charged by Cold Blood Knights and Blacker Corsairs. Looks like some of the other Glade Riders are trying to charge in and disrupt that a little bit, but I still think that we're going to lose this Glade Rider here. As the Dark Elves descend upon them, the infantry finally getting in and getting good damage out. So the Wood Elves taking some trades here and there. It's not all free value. Nothing is for free in this life, as they really try and overwhelm these Dark Riders on the hilltop. I don't know if it'll really go their way, though. And meanwhile, the ranged caster somehow got poked a couple times, Extreme Sorcerers of Dark down to half HP. It's a very spread out fight. There's a lot going on here. I'm sorry I can't catch every single thing that happens. Glade Riders and Dark Riders both routing. Wild Riders and Sisters of Thorn trying to fall away. They do have to go through a full health Blacker Corsair handbow on their way down. Oh, wait, that's just a Corsair. I'm too used to saying handbows. Golden Knights taking a bit more damage from the poke as they ride off. This Wild Rider over here looks like they're getting picked. A lot of them are going to escape, but enough stay behind, and they have taken supreme damage. And a Glade Rider with full ammo, about half their models, is getting chased off by Dark Rider right now. It looks like they're not going to be able to come back either. Soul Stealer out. Soul Stealer is out. It manages to hit both the Sisters of the Thorn, the Wild Rider, and the Dragon Lord, and the Spellslinger of Life. That's a huge Soul Stealer. The balance of power is slightly in the Dark Elves' favor. Is Butcher a boomer or a miner? Boomer. He's been playing this game forever. Fall Eva. Big breath attack down from the Dark Caster onto the Wild Hunters of Kronos. Again, really good damage. Good stuff here. Good stuff from the Dark Elves. I know Nerd plays a lot of Bretonia, so seeing him do this well on a faction that's not Bretonia is actually pretty cool. Golden Knights trying to get a pick on the Spellslinger of Life, but they will get countercharged by the Wild Riders and Sisters of the Thorn, trying to punish them for this. But I'm sure, as with the rest of the Dark Elf build, they're just happy to get a fight. It doesn't really matter if it's a great fight at this moment, because they've just been getting kited like literally all game. Golden Knights look like they're going down, but they're going down swinging, as even with healing, the Wild Riders are taking a lot of damage. Another charge in from more Wild Riders trying to take out these Golden Knights. They can't quite rout them just yet, and now they're going to pay the price. Lose a good 500 HP for that, 600. Golden Knights still running out and trying to get some fights here and there. Dark Riders did abandon chasing those Glade Riders. The Glade Riders managed to rally on the far sides. Supreme Sorceress of Dark has 2 breath attacks left. X number of Soul Stealers. I don't actually know how many Soul Stealers she has left, because she hasn't been using them for healing, which is usually the easiest way to track how many they've used. This is the Thorn Wild Riders thinking about opting back in. These Cold Knights are so low, they want to get a rear charge or 2 onto them and just get these guys to break once and for all. In comes another Soul Stealer trying to hit the Sisters of the Thorn and the Glade Lord. Looks like they will succeed. Big damage. No regrowth was brought, so they will need to heal up the Glade Lord through slow Earthblood spam if they're going to do so. For the Dark Elves, getting down to just infantry. Like, they still have this Dark Rider that looks like it's about to get intercepted by the Wild Hunters of Kronos and other Wild Riders. After that, it's infantry and a very healthy Dragon Lord. In comes the Dark Riders. Wild Riders not on point to stop the Dark Riders just yet. Now they're looping in from behind. I wonder if the Glade Riders just turn around and charge them back so that they get rear charged by these Wild Riders. Looks like they're not gonna. They're gonna keep trying to kite it out. There we go. They finally stop and get eaten by the Wild Riders. So there goes the last of the Dark Elf mobility, leaving us with just some infantry and a Dragon Lord. For the Wood Elves, we have some Sisters of the Thorn who are rather beat up. Bunch of Glade Riders who are quite healthy. They're running low on ammo. And the Wild Riders who are very damaged. And this one tries to pick off some Golden Knights, but it ends up getting charged by a giant Dragon Lady instead. The Wild Hunters of Kronos, what are they thinking about? What are they gonna do? Looks like they're maybe going for the Grounded Dragon, but instead just stop and settle themselves with the Golden Knight. Earthblood down onto the Wood Elf caster. Well, Wood Elf Lord. That did end up clumping all of these Dark Elves together. good little pick here from the Dark Elves, catching out the Life Caster, getting 2 big hits on her. Tactical Lich sent me a cryptic message, so I responded with question mark, as I should. Can the Dark Sorceress carry? Or can the Wood Elves even kill all of these random Dark Elf infantry running around? Prey of Anathema locking the Supreme Sorceress of Dark in place. This Butcherbird again rolls away with his Glade Lord. That's his last Prey of Anathema. And Soul Stealer? Nice Soul Stealer. It's 3 units. Yeah, 3 units, and then the Dark Caster lands. I don't know if the Wood Elves have the DPS. We'll see. Do you have any breath attacks left? No, no breath attacks left. The Dark Elves are all starting to rout. Oof. Oof! That's a good surround and a good rout. God damn, it looks like everything's routing. Dark Elf Caster comes in to just save the situation. Terror outs off the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, gives the Encourage aura to the Bleak Swords and stuff. Kind of gives some meat here, but another big charge in from the Wood Elves, and again, all those leadership bars are blinking down. Looks like 1 Bleak Sword and this Blackheart Corsair are both going to be fine, but everything else is a bit of a mixed bag on whether or not they're going to survive the night. More charges in. Glade Rider is getting in there, and yeah, that's a mass break out. All of a sudden, like, literally all of the Dark Elves are breaking. Breath attack in from the Dark Casters, trying to get a little bit of damage on the Glade Riders, but this is actually a really good showcase from Butcherbird of why I say infantry isn't a good win condition. Because, like, we saw that the bounce of power advantage and, like, the HP advantage all the infantry had, but then with the cavalry dominance that the Wood Elves had, they could just cycle charge them and get enough damage up to rout these guys, and then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much HP you have if you're running. Glade Riders and the Glade Lord are both firing away at the Supreme Sorceress, who has used a lot of Soul Stealers throughout the game, so I really don't know how much is left for her to heal. Spellsinger of Life takes the fight with her. Is going to lose to that Giant Dragon, but she'll hold for a little bit while the Wood Elves chase down all of the Dark Elves. The Glade Lord plus Wild Riders are going to team up and try to take this fight. The Supreme Sorceress of Dark is spooky on her dragon, but it's not like she has the craziest combat stats. Earthblood to heal, countered by a Soul Stealer to deal the damage, but also, of course, heal the Supreme Sorceress of Dark a little bit. But her 50-46 melee stats are actually better than the Glade Lord's 48-42. The Glade Lord did get the free charge onto her. Glade Riders and Wild Riders hanging in there for now as these Glade Riders and Hangman Tips are firing in. And considering how aggressively she uses her Soul Stealers and how close she is to her healing cap, despite that, I think she's out. I think that was her last Soul Stealer. Wood Elves need to make sure they stay on top of this. Some Blackheart Corsairs look like they might be coming back soon. Most of their models are over here. Nothing's actually chasing them off just yet. But most of the Dark Elves are getting chased down. Only one of them was allowed to rally. It looks like the Sisters of Thorn are on it. I'm going to try and charge these guys real quick. Send them flying. Maybe that's enough shock damage to get them down. And all of a sudden the Dark Elves are behind on the balance of power. Butcher, how'd that happen? How'd what happen? Demon Archer? They could try and wait it out, but I think they wanted to try and keep attacking just out of, like, boredom. And to fulfill, like, attacking roles and whatnot. Alright, Glade Rider is getting routed off. Still have one, providing a little bit of kite. Sisters of the Thorn chasing off some random Bleak Swords. At this point, it is just the Dark Caster. Like, there's no way anything else comes back to this fight. Breath attack is quickly dodged by the Hagbane Tips. I'm going to play at ×2 speed, as a lot of stuff is just getting chased down. Now she lands on the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. Okay, we get a bit of a fight. Wild Hunters, not ITP, but I think they terrorized recently enough. They're going to descend on her and try and get some damage out as the Glade Riders also join in the fight. They take a lot of damage on the charge, though, from the dragon, and a little bit of friendly fire from their own bros. The dragon is completely surrounded. They blob in order to lure the Wood Elves into Soul Steal and hit multiple units. Could be. Good terror routes, but again, the Wood Elves are kind of holding all the cards. I don't know how many more Earthbloods they have. They still have some ammo to draw this out if they need to. They can cycle charge their Glade Lord. They have 3 ammo left on the Sisters of the Thorn, 8 left on this Glade Rider. It's not that much damage, but it's still damage. The Dark Elf Sorceress is just a Sorceress. 3,000 HP left on her. Routes off these Wild Riders. Routes off the Glade Riders who do Shatter. Have we spoken too soon? Diving back on the Sisters of the Thorn. I don't know how often these guys have routed, but we are getting into close to shattering territory for, like, all of the Wood Elf units. They rout, but have not shattered. Another big charge attack in from the Dark Elf caster. Wild Hunters have shattered. Glade Riders have shattered. Sisters of the Thorn are going to rally in just a second. They have high enough leadership to do so. Glade Riders going to rout any second now. Looks like the Glade Lord has something to say about it. About equal HP on these 2 dragons. Landing attack should give the Glade Lord the edge in the melee combat because of the charge bonus, of course. And being surrounded by your own troops helps your leadership a little bit while depleting the enemies. Not getting as many hits as I would like onto the Sorcerer's Dark. There's a big one, but she returns it, so both Dragon Lords very damaged. Sister of the Thorn route for a second time on their way in. The leadership of the Supreme Sorceress of the Dark is falling, though. Doesn't look like she can hold on. Their health values have equalized because she is getting poisoned by the Glade Riders this whole time. 2 leadership left on the Dark Elf caster, and that is it. Bird, I don't know who wins this. The only game I remember who wins is my game because I played it. Some people told me, but I forgot, except for my game. Because these games, we started playing them, what, like 2 weeks ago? Week and a half? So for Nerd, 5,000 value on his caster. 4,900, whatever. It's like 5,000 value. And then everything else kind of struggled to get its value back. Some of the Bleak Swords strangely got the value back. Glade Lord did okay. Healing Caster got a ton of healing off. Wild Riders did pretty darn well. Glade Riders, mixed Glade Riders with bows. Very, very good. And this is Thorn, very good. GG. Okay, I have a bunch of messages, but we're on the board! Boomers gotta win! Yay, Boomers! Okay. I had to answer a tactical itch question. Nurgle's PA and Tequila Sunset is up next, huh? That's fine, because Boomers are on the board, and that's all we need. Tequila Sunset versus Nurgle's PA. More Dark Elves, more Lizardmen. Switching it up. This was sent in by a Boomer. Tequila Sunset. Stinky Boomers on the board. Let's go. Let's fucking go. You need 8 to win, so we got some climbing to do, but we're here for it. Hummus, did you play previous Total Wars or Warhammer? I played Shogun 2 campaign, Warhammer 1 campaign, and then Warhammer 2 campaign transitioned to multiplayer. And then Warhammer 3, I've barely played campaign. I've mostly just played more multiplayer. Alright. So we have 4 Skink Skirmishers, 4 Skink Cohorts, Lord Mazda Mundi. He is on Zlak. He has his Net and Apotheosis for spells, then his Bound abilities are Banishment and Ruination of Cities. Then we have Feral Cold Ones, Horned Ones, 2 Horned Ones, another Feral Cold One, and the Umbral Tide ROR Salamanders. On the other side, Dark Elves. 3 Dark Red Peter Crossbows, 3 Cold One Knights. We do have a Sorceress of Fire with Flamestorm and Burning Head, and she is on foot. Front line of Dread Spears, 4 Dark Shards in the back, and 2 Shades. Hey, Wicked. Overcasted Net of Anotok trying to catch both Dark Riders here, but it only managed to catch one. Mazda will throw a banishment on these guys while they're netted. It looks like he was going for a charge, but it ended up not really panning out. Now he's going for the charge again. The net has not worn off. Wears off in 3 seconds, so he does get a good little charge off, and that's about half their HP gone. That's decent. Obviously, the overcasting net wasn't worth it because it didn't catch both, but he tried to catch both, so I understand what he was going for. Skink cohorts shooting at the Coldland Knights. Nurgle's PA is going to charge in. These other Coldland Knights also charging in. So it looks like he just wants to get damage on the Skink skirmishers. And oh boy, that was a good charge in the distance. Seals health bars rocket down. That was awesome. Good for you. Apotheosis healing up Mazda Moody a little bit as Shades are already falling back behind the Dread Spears. Looks like they don't really have good targets right now, so they just don't want to be out here. Deal with it. Dark Rider Peter Crossbows counterfiring Skink Skirmishers. Skink Skirmishers will win this value trade, so the Dark Riders will need to leave as the Shades and Dark Shards turn their focus onto the Skink cohorts. And a Ruination of Cities cast between two units, really hoping the RNG favors them. It was fine, not amazing, so Maz is going to be a little sad. Let's see what the Horned Ones can do. I don't know what the Emerald Tide are actually going to accomplish at all, but Horned Ones should be fine. There's not a lot here that can really stop them. And if Tequila Sunset can get into the backline of the Dark Elves, he can get an insane amount of value. Oh, there's Chameleon Stalkers! Holy shit! Chameleon Stalkers trying to get in there as Mazda also dives through. Quick Burning Head down the side of the Skink Chorus will take them out, but this is really the game. The Dark Elves have a ton of money in their archers. Can the Lizardmen get back there and shut these guys down? A Terror Route comes in for these Dark Shards. Other Dark Shards are also going to Terror Route out, and the Horned Ones have charged straight onto the Shades with help from the Chameleon Stalkers. Elsewhere, Nurgle's PA is sweeping up this northern side pretty good. He's creating a bit of a place for himself to hide as the Emerald Tide start firing in on the Coldland Knights. Here's the other Horned one. Stuck fighting Coldland Knights. It is getting a shield to the old ones, a little bit of support. Might get an Apotheosis follow-up. There's a big charge from Mazda, but he does good damage to the Dread Spears. A Flamestorm is cast, but it gets cast onto the Supreme Sorceress of Fire. Don't know if that was a mistake or a bug, but it did happen either way. So Flamestorm, a little bit wasted. It is actually finding its way onto some Horned Ones and Chameleon Stalkers. So it ends up kind of working out as a bound banishment from Mazda Mundi is going to counteract onto all of those Dark Shards. But look at these Horned Ones just get melted. And it turns out the Flamestorm was the biggest brain play of the day, as it goes straight through those guys and does tons of damage. Lizardmen are up on the balance of power. The banishment kind of fucked off in the worst possible direction for the Lizardmen. And their Horned Ones still cleaning up the back line, the one that isn't dead. But these guys did prevail versus the Coldland Knights, shattered them off, routing off some Dark Shards now. Still have the Umbral Tide, even though there are Dread Spears trying to stop those Lizards from firing in. They are firing regardless, taking out one of the Dark Rider Peter Crossbows. Skinks and Feral Cold Ones returning to the fight, as the Coldland Knights that had won that northern fight are now committed to the center to try and stop Mazda Mundi from getting to the Dark Shards. But the Dark Shards are just retreating en masse. Looks like the Shades and Dark Shards aren't able to sit and shoot, and if they aren't able to sit and shoot, then most of their value is mitigated. A quick Apotheosis for some Horned Ones. Out go all the Dark Elves, and that might be GG as a fresh Ruination of Cities comes through. Didn't look like it had the best connection. It kind of tickled these Dark Shards a little bit, but oh well. Nice predictive Burning Head. It should rout off both these King Skirmishers with the damage plus the leadership debuff. So that was kind of sick with it. It's not going to turn around the game, but it was cool. At this point, I don't know what the Dark Elves can do. Their balance of power is coming from a full health Footcaster and one Shade. Everything else is about dead. As Mazda takes friendly fire from his own Salamanders. Where's that Horned one that was around? There it is. It's going to take out the Shade and they'll trigger army losses. For sure, and 7 years ago, the United States was founded upon killing Dowie. Tequila Sunset, his Horned Ones actually did pretty good. Chameleon Stalker flank was nice and disruptive, and Mazda Mundi ran through some things. Other than that, very cost-effective Skinks did skink things. That's that. And aside for the Dark Elves, too much Daka. Not enough Maraka. Couldn't defend all of his range. They just got ran down. They did done get ran down. Boomers move to 2 points versus the Bonerippers 5 because they think they're all that. Nice job, Tequila. On to the two show matches where we knew from the very start what they'd be playing. We have Rider of Rohan and Wags, Wood Elves and High Elves matchup. A lot of Elves today. That's kind of fucked. I don't like that. I wish there was fun factions. Yeah. How many replays do we have left? 7? Is that correct? No, I'm missing one. I don't know if Blood Penguin and Tim ever played. Well, fuck. Whatever. Whatever. Okay. I don't know what to do about that. I thought I had them all. I already had to cut Lich because Lich is busy and couldn't complete it, but yeah, okay. I lost my train of thought. What are we doing? Wags? Got it. Shit. Damn it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Rider of Rohan versus Wags. The bootstrap pull-up times? Bootstrap pull-up times, easy. Okay, dokie. For Rider of Rohan and his High Elves, we have 2 Ithilmar chariots, a whole bunch of spearmen, dragon princes. Okay, this is happening too fast. Spearmen, dragon princes, Illyrian reavers, and then Nicklous up on his shiny bird with regrowth and Flock of Doom. On the other side, for the Wood Elves of Wags, we have Sisters of the Thorn, Great Stag Knights, Double Forest Dragon, one which has the Helm of Discord Glade Lord on it, Earthblood Caster, and a whole bunch of War Dancers. Just War Dancers. Ithilmar chariots trying to get in. Nice job for the dragons to land on the chariots and try and stop them, but the chariots got extra orders to go straight through the War Dancers, doing some damage, but they really didn't take any damage in return, so it's free damage. We take those. War Dancers pop the Shadow Squell for a bit extra melee defense as they try and withstand the Dragon Prince's charge. But the mass is just too much, and 2 War Dancers are already feeling the pain a little bit. Double Forest Dragons are in the sky. What will they do? Can they use their many breath attacks to do good damage? Sword of Nicklous helps with the spell mastery as he overcasts Flock of Doom onto all of these Wood Elven units. And Nicklous is getting Helm of Discord right now while fighting a giant dragon, so he's losing out on that on 2 fronts. Meanwhile, a big ol' flank from the Great Stag Knights and Sisters of the Thorn. Already we have 2 Illyrian Reavers on their way out. Some Spearmen taking surprising damage considering it's Spearmen fighting cavalry. And Nicklous has also taken a lot, but he is going to land. For the High Elves, they're winning the frontline fight with their cavalry and chariots rolling through the War Dancers. 2 War Dancers are routing, 2 are almost routing, and 1 is healthy. Their Double Forest Dragons are doing good work, and their Cav flank is doing good work. Can the Dragon Princes turn it around? Where even are the Dragon Princes? There they are. Dragon Princes are still in the front line as Nicklous regrowths himself, trying to buy time to fight this Glade Lord, though nobody is really providing the damage to fight the Glade Lord. Dragon Princes that aren't the Fireborn aren't amazing at killing a dragon. If you were nice at Adawa, you would have less elves. No. Alright, Wood Elves up in the balance of power. Cav flank still going well. For the 2 Great Stag Knights, one's almost dead, the other one's fine. The Sisters of the Thorn are about half HP, but they do rout off another Illyrian Reaver. High Elves still have 2 healthy Ithilmar chariots that can chase off War Dancers or just run down any that try and come back to the fight. And the Glade Lord, is she overextended? Is it overextended as Nicklous continues to fight it, but it's on top of spears, and Illyrian Reaver's trying to pin it in. Dragon Prince is going to snipe out the Lifecaster. Other Dragon Princes trying to take down the Forest Dragon, but in come the Great Stag Knights with their heavy charge bonus and large AP values. They should actually be able to get a good walloping onto the Dragon Princes, especially if we have another Curse of Honor here. No, they used their only one. Couldn't tell if they had 1 or 2 charges of that. Glade Lord all of a sudden started taking a lot of damage. He's getting pushed off. Now we just have a Forest Dragon. The Wood Elves are quite committed to this fight. Can Nicklous do anything about that? I guess Flock of Doom is really his only damaging spell. But hey, he got a Flock of Doom on all 3 of them. Then he tries to go snipe the Lifecaster. As the Glade Lord is walked off slowly, Nicklous probably has to just chase him down. Wood Elves are all of a sudden way behind the balance of power, though. He Tarot's off the Life Wizard. Now, honestly, that is a good question. Do you go after the Glade Lord or do you go after the Life Wizard? You gotta get one of them, but the caster might be more worth it. The Wood Elf Cavalry gets dragged down by all the High Elf Spears. All of a sudden, it's just the 2 Forest Dragons left. Oh, and the 1 healthy War Dancer. That could be a nasty breath attack. Pretty good damage on the Dragon Princes. I'm not complaining. The Wood Elves' only way into this is if somehow the 2 dragons snipe out Nicklous and they rally their caster, and then they can maybe heal their way to victory. Maybe. War Dancers get stuck fighting these chariots as the High Elves push them back with the whips. Feels weird. I don't really like watching nobles in chariots whip naked ladies. That's not really what I'm into. So, I'm getting demonetized now because of Elves. Thanks, Elves. Another Flock of Doom is out from Nicklous to damage the War Dancers. The Glade Lord is definitely trying to snipe him out. He's getting close to his heal cap, so it's not all bad. Potion of Troy gives him 40% damage resistance for a little bit. The other dragon is also in. Dragon Princes and Spearmen trying to save Nicklous. But there'll be no more healing for those guys. Wood Elves on their last legs as they really try and grind this out. I just don't see it. Hi, Trogdor. Goodbye, Glade Lord. He routs. The only thing left in this fight is the Forest Dragon. Nicklous is real close to dead. There's no follow-up on him. Even if he, like, routed or something, he would just get away and fly away. It's the Forest Dragon. There's no way it's going to be able to chase him down once this surrounded by Cav. It could probably get out of the Cav, but not fast enough to, like, catch Nicklous. Because Nicklous is faster. Even with wounds, he's 108 speed. So, yeah. Rip. Good attempt from the Wood Elves. They were actually up at one point, too. A rider of Rohan cheated, so I guess he just wins. It's fine. It's whatever. Like, cheating's allowed if no one catches you, so that's fine. Just cheat. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad. The Double Dragons did good work. 3,700 value on the Dragon Lord. Great Stag Knights, Sister Thorn did okay. War Dancers got slammed, unfortunately. But Nicklous and the Dragon Princes and the Chariots. Chariots honestly did good work, just kind of keeping people under pressure. Not bad, not bad. We take those. Oh, and all of a sudden, the stinky boomers are catching up. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy that stinky boomers could catch up. Boom! Oh! 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 All right, Lenorm versus Brutus. Let's not waste our time before these youngins start thinking they're too hot to trot. Let's go. Where is Lenorm's game versus Brutus? There it is, Brutus. Fuck! Oh, we were doing so good, Lenorm. Why would you do this? You picked Skaven, you dumb person. Why?
Human boy, this was a show. You was determined ahead of time. He didn't actually get to pick. Human boy, you talked to Lenorm and asked him what factions he wanted to play, and he said Skaven. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's you. That's what you sound like. Anyway, Lenorm's playing Skaven. He's gonna lose. If a cheater cheats in the forest and no one is around, does Durthu still bark? Yes. Skaven versus Vampire Counts. Vampire Counts of Brutus. Brutus is pretty good Vampire Counts player. I really haven't seen them play too much else. We have 2 White Kings, one with Scab's Great, one without. We have Foot Manfred with Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech, Zombie Summon, Invocation Heck. Corpse Card on Holy Lodestone for some healing. Black Knights with Lances and Barding. Crypt Horrors. And that is it. On the other side, we have Ikit Claw. Very hygienic. That's true, Muffin Master. You got me on that one. Skaven are very hygienic. Ikit Claw with Flensing Ruin, Howling Warp Gale, Rat Ogres, Eshin Triads, Night Runners. Do a bit of kiting. We do have 2 globes, and then a bunch of Clan Rat Spears. Oh, and more Black Knights. There's 4 Black Knights? 4 Black Knights with Lances and Barding. Cool, cool. Lenorm trying to hunt down these Black Knights. Rat Ogres lunging after them. Black Knights are faster, so if the Rat Ogres don't get a perpetual charge, they won't be able to catch these speedy Knights. Looks like the Skaven are giving up on the chase. Since it is a replay, I'm going to fast forward as these guys kind of position around for a bit. Skaven are just trying to catch up to these Black Knights, and the Black Knights are getting us around while the rest of the Vampire Counts lumber forward. So, just fast forwarded through that little shenanigans. Manfred is 90 armor, but he is unshielded as the Night Runners walk up and attempt to get a little bit of damage out. Little bit is the right word, but man, they're trying. In come more Black Knights, charging through Ashen Triads. The Ashen Triads were unbraced, so they didn't really get too much damage back on the Black Knights. Black Knights are just going to opt out. Both sides testing their formations a little bit as the zombies creep ever forwards. This is going to be so bad. A Flensing Ruin onto Manfred, who's on foot, so his HP pool is lessened. He needs to get away from the White Kings, which it looks like he's trying to do. Yeah, he's trying to get away from the White Kings, so this is a good play from Brutus. Oh, fuck. Now he's dragging it back to the White Kings. No, you gotta get all the way. Spirit Lich onto Icket as Manfred heals himself up. Black Knights did get a good charge on the Rat Ogres, actually, taking half health off those guys. I'm gonna try to get away from the Triads now, which shouldn't be that tall of a task for them. Brass Orb tries to catch a few on the way out. The Vortex is strong enough to actually stop them in place, allowing the Rat Ogres and Ashen Triads to catch back up. But what do the Vampire Counts have in mind as they move up? Flensing Road Overcast did get a lot of damage onto the 4 single entities of the Vampire Counts in there. So that's pretty tough. Nice Scab Scrape for all those Night Runners. Good damage as the Globes try and kill off the zombies and the Crypt Horrors. Vampire Counts have to move fast through this front line and get onto those Globes and really put them under pressure. Black Knights still trying to draw these guys away, but there's more Black Knights where that came from. Looks like they're going for the Night Runners. More Black Knights charging the back area, trying to get on the Night Runners and Poison Wind Globes. Disrupting some of them, but I worry this Vampire Counts build lacks DPS. Black Knights are more tanky than they are damaging. And this one is getting rolled by the Ashen Triads. Ixcha's Triads. One Black Knight has faded away, another one has taken significant damage. Crypt Horrors and zombies are still slowly joining into the fight. We even have another zombie still just wandering the wastes, wondering what his life has in store for him. Manfred takes another Overcast of Flensing Ruin. He trades a Spirit Leech for Icket Claw, but Icket Claw's more than happy for that trade for now. Corpse Cart's trying to heal up these Crypt Horrors and the White Kings, and even Manfred, whose heal cap has already appeared. But we said it earlier in the stream, Flensing Ruin onto single entities is insanely powerful. Flensing Ruin onto non-single entities is pretty mid. Globes get to safety. They are going to throw at the Black Knights, killing some of their own guys in the process, but that's fine. That's very Skaven of them. Other ones are throwing into this big old blob. Manfred's HP pool is still falling. Vampire Count's quite behind. For the Skaven, some Night Runners and some Clan Rat Spears are routing. I guess there's a good number of routes going around, but I don't know if it's enough. Black Knights can easily run down any of these guys that are routing, so they won't be able to come back. But with the Globes still up and throwing, like, they're doing good damage to these zombies and Crypt Horrors and stuff. This is a good fight. Rat Ogres and Ashen Triads getting nice and low. I wonder if Manfred can do anything about that, but not really. He's not on his dragon. It's not like he can dive in and cause terror. Ooh, that is something I'm just realizing. This Vampire Counts build has literally 0 terror. That's going to be brutal. Can't get those nice free terror routes on the Skaven. Crypt Horrors taking a lot of damage from the Globes. They're going to try and hold on for now as the Black Knights run down these random Clan Rat Spears. There's still a lot of Triads to deal with. Manfred is healing back up, which is kind of nice. But Night Runners are safe. Looks like they're throwing into Manfred and the Corpse Cart for now. The Zombie Summons and White Kings try and do some good damage. And Manfred, another Spirit Leech on Deck Claw, another Overcasted Flensing Ruin onto Manfred. Oh, jeez. I don't think so. They just seem so expensive for a harass unit. Oh, Black Knights? Yeah, okay. Black Knights are pretty bad. Icket Claw is getting a little low, but the Skaven still have a lot of dudes left. Balance power shifting heavily against the Vampire Counts, and I definitely agree as Manfred is about to die. Army losses will hit. That's another on the board for the Boomers. I don't hate direct damage spells existing. Otherwise, single entities can be kind of hard to kill sometimes, like especially foot characters. But I do think they need to chill out a little bit. If healing and direct damage took some nerfs, I would not be sad. I never want, like... you don't want a meta where single entity blobs prevail because you have no magic that can kill them. That's obviously dumb, but still, I do think healing and direct damage could take a step back. Gutter Runners and Night Runners didn't have a whole lot to do. There weren't any Vargeist for them, but the Globes did good damage. Eshin Triads did fine. Rat Ogres did okay. Clan Rats did fine, but it was mostly a Claw with 4,400 value. Tim is around and help it. I don't know, man. Okay, sorry. People are typing to me about things. What are we doing? You going to the Photoshop? Okay. Okay, people are distracting me with things. Boom. Stinky Boomers up to 4. Over to the Photoshop. Boop. 4 to 5. It's me versus Nicklous. I don't know. I've heard I'm a pretty crafty person. And I've learned my lesson about taking Skaven... Fuck! It's Skaven versus Vampire counts. How do you do healing nerfs without making most elite units useless? I honestly would support magic resist that scales with your unit's cost. And then give, like, Khorne and Dwarves more magic resist. But, of course, scaling with cost. Why is Queek so weird? Because Queek kind of sucks. Alright, my version of Skaven versus Vampire counts. We have one Eshin Triad, bunch of Skaven slaves, Clan Rat Spears on the front line, some Storm Vermin, Sword and Shield! Yeah! Storm Vermin! Supported by Lords of Skrulk, of course. It could Zap Zap for Rat Ogres. And a Plague Priest on his bell with just Plague. Now notice Skrulk has no spells. This guy has just Plague. I have a plan. I have a scheme. On the other side, my opponent brought a shit ton of skeletons and skeleton spearmen, a Mortis Engine, 4 Crypt Horrors, Vlad von Karstein in Kislev and his summon, and then a bunch of Crypt Ghouls and Fellbats surrounding me. Now, my Storm Vermin run out. Go get a fight with Skeleton Warriors. That's fine. And I figured, if the Vampire counts don't have a front line, then I win. So I brought a Mortis Engine, because he's a Mortis Engine. I brought Plague, kill those fools. And then I brought Skrulk with his Rod of Corruption and Libri Bubonicus. So hell yeah, we're killing it. Warp Lightning Cannon's gonna take out that Mortis Engine. And in comes the first Plague! Take this Skeleton Spearman and Skeleton Warriors are both getting plagued. Plagued, son! 12 winds of magic. So much damage. Bound to Pestilent Breath. Oh! Say goodbye to 2 of your infantry units. For 12 winds of magic. OP spell. Fuck you, idiot. I win! Victory to the Skaven! Cut the tape. Cut the tape. I already won. So we can actually just leave. We can just go. Alright. Back to serious things. So those skeletons died and skeleton spirits are crumbling. My rat ogres and some Skaven slaves have to go out and peel these crypt ghouls who have shown up. I don't like them, so I need to get them out of here. Fellbats landed on my Ikit Zap Zap. Clan rat spears and rat ogres are dealing with them, while my Eshin Triads and rat ogres sit around and wait for that one to feel like landing. My Plague Priest and his clan rat buddies have done pretty good work there. These Storm Vermin, what is that, a summon? Okay. These Storm Vermin around Lord Skrulk did okay. They're now getting drained by a Mortis Engine. And Skrulk pieced out. I didn't want to fight Vlad all on my own. So now I just have Skaven slaves helping me out. Oops. Where's my second Stormvermin? There they are. Still full HP as they killed a skeleton all on their own. Now they're fighting Cryptors. 2 different Cryptors. They're not really loving that at all. We need to kill that Mortis Engine. Fuck that thing. I peeled the Fellbats off myself. We still have some Crypt Ghouls in the back, but I'm taking care of them kind of slowly, surely. Kind of. What is that? What is getting cast over here? Is that another plague? For 12 Winds of Magic, you can just delete a skeleton spear? What the fuck? Also, why is the bottom half of his skirt real? Look, not real, real. Not real, real. Also, whoa! OP. OP spell. Skrulk's still fighting out. Mortis Engine is dying, but it did manage to rout my Stormvermin before it left. Eshin Triad's running forward now. They're just trying to apply their armor debuff to Vlad. At least they can lower him down to 45 armor, but his melee defense should be plenty high. And Skrulk's in a bit of a pickle. Still trying to kill off those Crypt Ghouls, who are slowly beating my backline forces, but, you know, we're doing okay. 2 Cryptors over here fighting Stormvermin and Clan Rats. Stormvermin, the bravest boys of Skaven Blade, doing their best to hold on. Skrulk's a little alone. I have another Rod of Corruption up soon, right? I mean, I have 2 uses of it. We're 3.5 minutes in the game. I gotta have it soon. Ow! That did so much damage, Warp Lightning Cannon. Fuck you! Anyway, there's the Rod of Corruption plus the Warp Lightning Cannon shooting in at these Cryptors, and I hit him with Libra Bonicus. I apparently wanted these guys dead as hell. As my Plague Priest moves over to see what he can do about this situation. Still trying to clean up Crypt Ghouls in the back. There is still a full health Fellbat running around being ominous as Ikit Zap Zap starts teeing off onto the Cryptors. Skaven are ahead of the balance of power. This can't possibly be. Is that another plague onto zombies and skeleton spears and Cryptors and more zombies and Vlad von Karstein, who's definitely in the circle right now? That is crazy! That's so much damage. His skirt's real again, by the way. Wow. Who's ever a genius that brought this spell and has gotten 300 kills with it is a fucking legend. Don't look at the damage value. Just look at the kills. Just look at the 300 kills. That's a lot of kills. 1 Cryptor is gone. Skrulk's still fighting these guys, and Eshin Triads are holding Vlad in place, and I'm just kind of hoping I don't have to kill him, because I don't know how I'm going to kill him. Skrulk can't duel him. Skrulk's at half HP, and Vlad's going for Skrulk, and that's going to be bad. If I lose Skrulk, I'll lose the game. Foreshadowing. So anyway, if anything bad happens to Skrulk, I will lose this game. Foreshadowing. As Vlad tries to snipe him out, tries to get some good damage on him. I do have my Plague Priest doing good work. Chilling with zombies. Rat Ogres finally killed off the Crypt Ghouls, so they're starting to come from the back line and help out the front line. These 2 Cryptors over here finally get through the Stormvermin after 5.5 minutes. The Stormvermin held forever, baby. Let's go. It's not easy being cheesy. It's not. Everything is firmly in hand now. The Skaven have got it handled. And they're going to win this game. Rat Ogres take a fight with the Cryptors, but I do pull the Rat Ogres around so that the Cryptor's back is to the Warp Lightning Cannon so it doesn't get obstructed and it can still keep shooting. Vlad is chilling. Zombie Summon's fading away. I have many plagues left to cast if they're needed. Vlad's under attack. So Vlad's stuck fighting. We still have 2 Cryptors, and my Warp Lightning Cannon's trying to take care of. I'm slowly feeding Skaven slaves and spears and all that shit into them, as one of them even has his heal cap up here. And my Plague Priest thinks about going and adding his Mortis Engine effects over there. Lord Skrulk's also going to join in this effort. As Clan Rats and Skaven slaves get attacked by Vladdy Chatty. Big Warp Lightning Cannon shots onto those Cryptors. Getting lit up. I'm waiting for something funny that I know happens. There's the last Rod of Corruption onto the Cryptors, doing good damage to them, yada yada, no one cares. They take damage and they die. Yep. Where's the thing? Invocation Hack, trying to keep these Cryptors alive. So Vlad, for 5 Winds of Magic, can summon a zombie unit. And Plague... for 12 Winds of Magic, can delete any zombie unit on the battlefield. It's literally in the unit card. So I might have some clever counter tactics coming up to stop the vampire counts. Dun, 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 dun. Felbat's trying to run down some of my random clan rats that are routing. Skrulk and the Plague Priest don't want to die to Vlad. No one is concerned about Vlad at all because we can easily kill him at any time. We just haven't till now because we haven't felt like it. Vlad Kon Karstein still surrounded by my stuff. Felbats land in a teeny tiny little clump and they're about to get shot in the face. And then they all died because they're clumped up like fucking idiots. Vlad's heal cap is in sight. He needs some zombies, but what if I have Plague? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about the Plague? You can't summon him. See how he's not summoning his zombies? It's because he's scared of my Plague. Because he knows if he spends 5 Winds of Magic on a summon, I spend 12 Winds of Magic to kill the summon. So he's checkmated. He can't do shit about it. He is officially heal capped. Ikit Zap Zap is almost out of ammo. And Vlad is all alone. What can man do against such reckless Skaven? Oh! Oh, is that a zombie? Is that a zombie that's showing up? It'd be a shame if it was deleted instantaneously by a Plague. Sure, Sebastian Triads are in here, but fuck them. Fuck them if they die. I'm gonna get your zombie, bitch. What are you gonna do? Countered, motherfucker! Oh! Oh, you think you're so cool. Summoning zombies. Well, they're dead. They're fucking dead. Checkmate! Got him. Army losses goes because Vlad loses hope that as soon as he summoned his zombies, they're gone. Easy win, easy game. Oh shit, army losses canceled. Oh shit, army losses canceled. All right, it's back. Another zombie's out, but my Plague's on cooldown. Hurry, kill him. Alright, so here's the deal. 1, it's a for fun event. I had some fun. 2, it's not actually that troll. Memes aside, the reason I took Plague is for that. I noticed in my losses to vampire counts recently that the problem is like Crypt Horrors had too much support. So my idea was, well, what if I take out all their support and then Crypt Horrors are left fighting alone? So that's what we did here. I tried Plague out to just throw on zombies or skeletons on the front line and kill them off. And then the Crypt Horrors would just be fighting on Clan Rat Spears and stuff all alone. I also expected Vargeists. I didn't really expect the flanking Crypt Ghouls, so he had way more infantry than I was planning on dealing with. But it worked. But it is also a for fun event. Now, like, if you're being serious, you should probably, like, if Plague was a real tech, right? If it was a real tech, you'd probably want to take Plague and then the Vermintide summon. You probably wouldn't want to just take Plague, but whatever. Star Vermin actually got close to paying for themselves. Ashen Triads did fine. Rat Ogres did fine. It's not a completely troll build. Like, I was having a bit of fun, but Skrulk is a fine lord here if they don't bring Spirit Leech. Plague Priest on his Furnace is pretty good. Warp Lightning Cannon's very good. As you can see here, it got 4,000 value. Rat Ogres are fine. Triads are fine. Storm Vermin, I've been having some success with them recently. I don't know enough to think whether they're good or bad yet, but I am trying them out. So, it was like 80% a serious build, and then I had a bit of fun. For Nicklous, his Mortis Engine got sniped right away, which put him at a severe disadvantage. Crypt Horrors did fine. Crypt Ghouls also let him down quite a bit, and then his Skeletons got bodied, but Vlad did Vlad stuff. You thought all the foreshadowing was going to beat Skrull Cup? I intentionally misled you for the sake of surprise. I'm a shitter. Alright, we're tied, baby! 5-5! What you gonna do? Nothing. Nothing. I honestly got a little concerned when it was 5-0, and I'm like, I know I won my game. I don't know about the rest. I was super worried we were getting blown out. Because I forgot. Well, obviously I didn't forget. I didn't know. But we started out 5-0. I was like, fuck. Alright, Calamity and Raised. Let's go. Let's go. So I have to delete mine. I have 4 replays left. I know there's 5 on the screen, but one of our games actually didn't get played. Calamity and Raised. Lizardmen and Dark Elves. No terror in this build? Vlad causes terror. Alright, for the Lizardmen of Calamity, trying to get the Bonerippers back in the driver's seat as they go 0-5 in the last 5 games. 4 Feral Cold Ones, a Court of Waddle, 4 Skink Skirmishers, the Legion of Chakwa, 5 Skink Cohorts with Javelins, 2 Bastildons with Solar Engines, and a Salon of Life with Dwellers Below, pre-buff, and Earthblood. On the other side, Dark Rider repeater crossbows, 4 of them. We have 2 Cold One Dread Knights, one of which is the Knight's Ape and Claw. We have 3 Cold One Dread Knights, one of which is the Knight's Ape and Claw. We have 2 Dark Riders, 2 Cold One Knights. Nightheart, are you saying that's a good thing or a bad thing? I'm just curious. And then we do have a Dark Sorceress with Soul Stealer who is currently getting blasted by Solar Engines and Javelins, so she's going to fall back. But while the Javelins are shooting at her, they are getting counterfired by the Dark Riders. It looks like Calamity isn't fully distracted, though, as he gets a really brutal volley back onto the skirmish cab of the Dark Elves. Just as the Cold and Dread Knights charge in and get lasered yet again. More Cold One Dread Knights charging in as Blood Stature Despite hits them in the face. And now they're going to try and retreat, but they might take a bunch of Javelins in the back as they do so their shields won't be facing the right way as they run. Yeah, they're taking some Javelins. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, not loving it. Tequila Sunset, I'm reading your stuff after the delay. That was an unfortunate timing where you said Skinks can't do shit about it, and then they just darted this guy a whole bunch as he left and got a lot of free value. But still on Solar Engines poking down the Cold One Knights. Dark Rider's also charging in as 2 Feral Cold Ones are pushed off the field. So is the Skink Cohort of Javelins. So some pretty good damage from the Dark Elves on that right flank. Left flank still going fine for Lizardmen. They're holding against these Dark Riders and even just going to go throw at them. As so far, Race Skirmish Cab is mostly uncontested to do whatever it wants. Skink Cohort's Javelins take a pretty nasty breath attack. And the Solar Engines are trying to spread the love wherever they can. Their laser shots do get a debuff onto whatever they shoot at. Like that. Blinded. Kind of surprised the Court of Waddle are running back here instead of coming back to fight the Supreme Sorceress of Dark. Looks like they're just going to ignore her. Banishment is out onto the Cold Knights, getting some decent damage. And like Butcherbird's Wood Elf build earlier, the Dark Elves have literally no infantry. So while they're getting good damage out, like, all their troops are expensive, so actually falling behind the balance of power as this happens. Earthblood Overcast trying to counter the Soul Stealer's damage. I think it will. They're honestly pretty equal. The Earthblood is slightly winning out. The Court of Waddle, full health, returning back to the fold as Dark Riders get chased off by Feral Cold Ones. It's a bit of a weird sight. Lizardmen, 2 Feral Cold Ones are getting chased down by Cold Knights. If they both turn and fight, they might get some decent damage, but I think he's worried about, like, Dark Rider, Peer Crossbows or something getting involved. Legion of Chakwa getting pin-cushioned right now. Do have bronze shields if they're facing the right direction, and then their aura, the plus 40% missile resist aura. But looks like that's on cooldown right now, so they're just getting shredded for the moment. Raced, his skirmish cav is pretty healthy and a decent amount of ammunition left. His heavy cavalry is taking a lot, though. Cold and Dread Knights opt into a fight with the Legion of Chakwa, who are currently getting healed and a shield buff. As another breath attack comes in, decent damage on the backside. The Legion almost think about breaking as Cold and Dread Knights try and get out. They end up just face first into some Skink Cohorts who are throwing at the Dark Rider Peer Crossbows, getting a pretty good volley out there. And Raced is really trying to scrap with it. He's trying to get the Lizardmen into a bad situation. Ooh, this might be it, though. Court of Waddle getting torn apart and Soul Stealer, but in comes the Dwellers Below onto the 2 cavalry units. Everybody's taking big damage now. This whole pile of units is just dying horrendously, and I kind of love it. Dark Elf Sorceress lands on the Salon again, trying to get any damage out on him, but she's really struggling. A lot of things struggle to actually hit the Salon. Neither was implied, but it probably means meta matchup knowledge decides a lot more than in the past. Alright, alright. Okay. Dark Rider Pier Crossbows still firing at some skinks who are now shattered, so they'll want to really refocus. The Knights of the Ebon Claw are in, surrounding the Bestildon Solar Engines, who are still full HP, but Lizardmen kind of running out of DPS. Like, their balance of power is wrapped up in their 3 healthy single entities. We'll see if those guys can really carry the game. Overcast hurts the Salon more than the Dark Mage ever did. Another Soul Stealer's out. That's going to be a big one. It's everybody except for this Solar Engine. Oh, also didn't hit the Legion Choco, even though it looked like it would have, but yeah, it didn't. Race still has a lot of ammunition, though. Knights of the Ebon Claw taking a lot of damage is not good. You kind of need these guys as the late-game cleanup. After everything has been softened by the repeater crossbows, these guys need to be around to do good damage, but the skink cohorts are poking them down, and I think Blood Statue Despites have also been hitting them off-screen. Some skink cohorts are going to catch Dark Riders in melee. Another one took a lot of damage and is now just terror-outing off. And these Solar Engine dinos, plus another Blood Statuette, look like they're actually going to take out the Knights of the Ebon Claw. All of a sudden, the Lizardmen are up on the balance of power, and I guess I agree. Dark Elves did pretty well, but it looks like they're out of it. Oh, they still have a half-health Golden Knight. And a full-health Dragon Lord. This Cold One Dread Knight barely clinging to leadership as it stares at Legion of Chakwa. But those damn skink skirmishers with their damned darts. Double Solar Dino is going to poke down the Supreme Sorceress of Dark even more. I don't know how many Soul Stealers she has left in her to heal up. The Solar Engine Dinos are actually doing good work this game for once. I guess they're not paying for themselves, but again, they provide perfect vigor around them, even better than perfect vigor, so they give everybody their vigor back. They provide debuffs, they reduce healing by applying that fire damage. So, good little support units. Nice volley from the Repeater Crossbows. Rampages the Feral Cold Ones potentially back into a bad situation. Another Soul Stealer's going to hit. Doesn't hit the Court of Waddle too. Yes, it does. So it hits all important members of this build. Her Soul Stealer values has got to be really crazy. 2,400 and climbing. 2,500. Not the craziest we've seen tonight, but still pretty good. Solar Engines down to 2 shots apiece. No, 2 and 3. Repeater Crossbows running very low on ammo except for this one, but this one's currently getting caught in melee by the Feral Cold Ones. Knights of the Ebon Claw and another Dread Knight are trying to peel for it, but they do need to fall back and get to safety. Skink Skirmishers still a lot of ammunition, but Estildons are not giving up on their quest to shoot at the Supreme Sorceress of Dark. 1 shot per Bastillodon left as she dives down onto the Skink Skirmishers. Dangerously close to the Court of Waddle. Takes the last Solar Engine shot from that other Bastillodon. She is going to run away. Gets up into the sky. And we still have this Dark Rider. And another big Soul Stealer. That's probably her last one, though. That's going to take her right next to her heal cap. And considering how aggressively she's used Soul Stealers, and that means that's it. The Lizardmen are almost out of ammo, and that's really the Dark Elves' only hope in this game. They have 1, 3, and 9 volleys left to use uncontested now. 3 on this Dark Rider as well, but it looks like it's just going to route off the map. But without being able to counterfire, the Lizardmen now are at the mercy of the Dark Elves. Get a shatter in from one of the Cold One Knights. Cold One Dread Knights also going to start routing and shattering as Knights of the Ebon Claw fight to the very end. These other guys also managed to rally their leadership. They were quite negative for a bit. And the Dark Elf caster lands on the Salon, plus this Cold Knight that I forgot existed came out of nowhere. Dark Rider, Repeater Crossbows with no ammo, charging in, try and get rid of some of these skinks. Big moment for the Dark Elves. They get rid of the Cord of Waddle. They get rid of a bunch of the Skinks. And they get big, big damage on the Salon Mage Priest of Life. As these guys try and shoot at the Saurus Legion of Chakwa. It's a close, close game. Opal Amulet's out for Serene Sorceress of Dark as Dark Rider Peter Crossbows try and surround the Salon to get him to stay next to the dragon so she can get a couple more hits in. The Repeater Crossbows are not spending their time shooting at the Salon. They're shooting at the Legion of Chakwas. The Bound Banishment from the Salon, he still has that? 10 minutes into this game? Bound Banishment is out, but does it turn against the Lizardmen? Does it go into their Skinks or into Legion of Chakwa? It looks like it's going after the Skinks, but Calamity's dodging away. Doesn't want any of that. Dark Elves still firing in. 7 volleys left on that Repeater. 2 on this one. 0 on another. 0 on this. Big dive in from the Dragon, plus the Dark Rider Peter Crossbows. Terror outs the Skinks. Just as Shield the Old Ones comes in to try and save them from routing. Legion of Chakwa also thinking about routing. That would just leave the single entities. Can the 8 volleys of the Repeater Crossbows really kill a Salon and 2 dinos? For the sake of the boomers, I'm hoping the Dark Elves got this. 1 volley and 5. Focusing their efforts on the Salon Mage Priest of Life. Want to lower the leadership of the Bastildons, plus also get rid of any potential healing he still has. The Dragon Lord is diving for the Salon once again. Misses the charge. Hits the charge attack afterwards. And Salon are not ITP, so he's going to Terror Route here. Can she turn it into a natural route? The Bastildons nip at her heels. 4 shots left for this Dark Rider. 1 for the other. And they both decide to pincushion the Salon now. Since she's having such a hard time hitting him, they just had to make sure he takes enough damage to actually route. He is routing now. Dark Rider's back onto shooting the Bastildons. They have perfect vigor because they're standing next to each other and that more than perfect vigor aura, yada yada yada. Salon gets run down by Repeater Crossbows, but the Legion of Chakwa are here. 18 leadership is enough for now to fight back against the Dark Elves. Dragon landing on them will seal their fate, though. And a singular Dread Knight chases the Salon. 31 leadership when he has 31 HP. Perfection. Repeater Crossbows honestly shot a bit wide and hit their own Dark Riders more than they hit the Bastildon. Dragon's still trying to land on the Salon. 100 HP. Salon is dead. That's a leadership spike against the Lizardmen. No ammo left for the Dark Riders except for 1 volley on this guy. Shooting at a Bastildon that has 15% missile resist. And the volley missed because the Bastildon kind of half-dodged. Can they do it? Dark Rider's back in against Bastildon. Big old charge into their face. The other one's coming up too. They are immune to flanking. Leadership debuffs. They cause terror and they are perfect vigor. Can the Lizardmen be stopped on 2 support dinosaurs that are out of ammo? Let's see. Dragon lands in on him. Does get slapped right in the face. Gets slapped again. Is poisoned. Takes a ton of damage. Opal Amulet for some damage resistance, but anybody that comes to join them is terror routing away. The 2 dinos are beating up with the Supreme Sorceress, surrounding her, beating the shit out of her, not even taking that much damage as she swings at them. The Cavalry of the Dark Elves are trying to rally and come back to the fight, but the Lizardmen are ahead on the balance of power. She's exhausted. They're all exhausted. She's gonna fucking rout, and if she does, she takes her whole army with her. There she goes. Lord routing nearby will cause these guys to all chain route, and then that's gonna be G fucking G. The dinos are too strong. $1,800 and $2,000 value for the Solar Dinos. $1,700 value for the Life Salon. It's a Life Salon that got that much value. Skink Cohorts with Javelins didn't end up paying for themselves. Skink Skirmishers more than did, though. Holy shit, they crushed it. Then Feral Cold Ones got run down. For Raced, honestly, really, really good game. Coldwind Dread Knights and Coldwind Knights didn't get a lot of value, but they did pretty good. Dark Elf Caster, 3,700 value, yet again for her. Soul Stealer is a fair and balanced ability on a fair and balanced Lord. And then Repeater Crossbows did fantastically. Dark Riders got wrecked. Alright, Bonerippers, you can have a win. You bastards. You bastards! Alright, Salinator and Palpatine? Let's go. Let's go. So, you need 8 to win? Yes, because there's 3 games left. So if they get to 7 and we get to 7, we tie. Got it. Need 8 to win. Palpatine versus Salinator. Salinator on the Demons of Chaos. Palpatine on the Warriors of Chaos. My camera's not on. I was running behind today and I didn't have time to set it up. Also, I just spilled water all over myself, so I guess that's fine. Palpatine, he brought 2 Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch, 3 Marauder Horse Masters, a Doom Knight of Tzeentch, a Chosen of Tzeentch with Halberds, and then Marauders. He brought Kolek Suneater, classic Palpatine, and a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows with Occam's Mindrazor and Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. Motherfucking Kolek Suneater. The other side for the Demons of Chaos, the front line of Nurglings, a Herald Nurgle of Death, a Fate of Being and Spirit Leech up in the sky, Plague Drones of Nurgle, Flamers of Tzeentch with Blue Horrors, Sour Guts Pink Horrors to back them up as well, and then some Flesh Hounds of Khorne. Melkoth's onto the Nurglings, that's Pog. And Sour Guts zone off the Marauder Horsemen with a pretty little light show. Flamers trying to fire sideways into the Marauders and Kolek. Kolek is not taking any of this shit, though. He charges in, uses his lightning ability, and he's onto the Flamers. Trying to disrupt them, make sure they can't shoot as the Pink Horrors fire back at him, and Plague Drones are now surrounding him, but he does have Tempest Rage and Star Crusher. Occam's Mindrazor as well, getting him up to 1k magic damage weapon strength. He doesn't give no shits. Marauders trying to get involved. None of the Skirmish Cav are nearby to help Kolek punish this blob, however, and it looks like he is going to run away. Buff still active. Rear charges the Nurglings, trying to get them to break so they can get some Marauder support here. But the Flamers are free and clear once more. Marauder Horsemaster is in a bit of a blobby blob, getting shot at by Flamers. They do need to back off as the Doom Knights try and chase down the Plague Drones of Nurgle. I feel like the Doom Knights might have to go after the Flamers, as the Flamers are going to try and eradicate these Chaos Sorcerer Shadows. They're doing good work of it. Rear charge in from the Herald of Nurgle might just seal his fate. Looks like the Warriors of Chaos are going to lose their caster nice and early. Kolek still chasing around the Flamers of Tzeentch. Doom Knights chasing off the Plague Drones. And they're getting good damage on the Plague Drones, but who the fuck cares about the Plague Drones? Alright, Kolek's surrounded, taking big damage from the Plague Drones and Flamers and stuff. Other Flamers fire in, but I feel like they're going to do more friendly fire than actual damage to Kolek. The Skirmish Cav of the Warriors of Chaos have not been involved in the key moments, unfortunately. And the Doom Knights of Tzeentch are entirely derelict of their duty. Chaos Sorcerer Shadows overdove a bit and did get punished, so did Kolek. So a couple misused resources coming back to punish the Warriors of Chaos. Kolek's leadership is positive already, but the Plague Drones aren't going to let him come back. Marauder frontline is getting massacred, and the Chosen of Tzeentch have not been able to find a fight that was really for them. Now the Flamer is going to fire down the center formation, taking out their barriers, but the next volley will surely kill some fools. In come the Flamers, trying to delete that very expensive Chosen unit. Demons of Chaos frontline held, and the Skirmish Cav of the Warriors of Chaos are still peeling off Flesh Hounds of Khorne in the distance. But with every volley, the Chosen die a little bit more. And even though that the Flamers are kind of killing their own Nurglings here and there, They're fine with it. To kill an entire Chosen of Tzeentch with halberds, they take those. That is looking like GG. Kolek somehow managed to come back. Doom Knights. Oh, that's how. Doom Knights got the Plague Drones off of him, but a Fate of Buna from the Herald of Nurgle does do quite a lot of damage to those Elite Knights. The Elite Knights should beat the Plague Drones even after getting Fate of Buna. Ooh, and they're getting a Locus of Fecundity. Okay, maybe not all that. But the Demons just have, like, a lot of stuff left, and the Warriors of Chaos really don't. Doom Knights get killed off by that Fate of Buna and Plague Drones. Kolek tries to rout some of the Horrors. And wow, those Flamers really hate their Nurglings. Like, really hate their Nurglings. Oh, these Flamers have killed so many Nurglings. More Nurglings are demonic instability crumbling as the Spirit Leech goes for Kolek, who currently has Tempest Rage and all of his buffs up. Sour Guts are safe and sound, along with some Blue Horrors still shooting, Flamers still shooting every so often. These Nurglings thinking about demonic instability crumbling. I swear I saw them start it and then stop. But I think that balance of power is just too far gone. Kolek's getting beat up. Herald of Nurgle lands. And that might just be Armada losses. Flamer's turning to fire at Kolek one last time as he runs at the Sour Guts. Spirit Leech plus the Flamer's big old damage. Army losses. Alright. My precious boomers. We're on the back foot. We can win the next 2 games and tie it up. If we lose one more, we're out of there. Pop Palpatine Chad stuff. Also, to Jack earlier in chat, here's another submitted loss. I think there was another submitted loss too. Versus you, Brutus submitted a loss. So, we've been mixing it up. Salinator, one of his Plague Drones and his Herald of Nurgle did great. His Flamers did very, very well. Blue Horrors and Nurglings, not as much, but they held the line. GG. Zegzi in its current year. The Rob Lowe. Alright, Zegzi on the Beastmen. Its current year. Warriors of Chaos. We're all counting on you its current year. Can't lose another game. For the Beastmen. Centaurs throwing axes, a front line of Ungor herds. We have Centaurs of Tzeentch, a Wildscaster Traderkin, and a Doombull. Some Ungor Raiders in the back. On the other side for the Warriors of Chaos, and its current year, Fleshy Abundance is the only spell for a Nurgle caster, plus the Filth Mace. Then we have some Marauder Horsemen, triple Chaos Knight of Tzeentch, double Feral Manticore, some dogs, and a Marauder frontline. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, currently looking at the many possibilities in their future, do allow some Centaurs to slip past them and get onto the Marauder Horsemen. Then they charge forward. Countercharged by Minotaur's Great Weapons, so this is going to be a bad fight for them overall. Dogs trying to bail out the Marauder Horsemen. And on the other side, Centaurs might be in for a bit of a hard time. Centaurs of Tzeentch get a great charge off from the Chaos Knights, though. Already a Fleshy Abundance trying to keep them in this fight as they fight back against the Centaurs of Tzeentch. Front line is going well for the Warriors of Chaos. Their Manticores are even diving the enemy caster and getting some good damage out, but the flanks are going pretty poorly. Beastmen are crushing those. As we have 2 Skirmish Cab and a dog routing here. A Chaos Knight of Tzeentch is going to route there. And a good Overcasted Traderkin onto 2 Skirmish Cab, more importantly, the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle. Some Centaurs are getting peeled off. These Chaos Knights of Tzeentch have found their way onto the Centaur with throwing axes. Manticore is trying to chase off the Great Shaman of the Wild. Now they're disrupting some of the archers, and the Marauder front line is winning over the Ungor Spearman herds. Beastmen are way up on the balance power, though. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, one of them is routing. Another one, the one that already received Fleshy Abundance, has taken just extreme damage. The more Centaurs are fighting alongside, actually not alongside, against the Manticore and 2 Marauder Horsemen. They're still kind of winning, especially with Minotaurs nearby that could just recharge in at any moment. But it looks like the Minotaurs have lost their attack orders on whatever target they're beating up. Another Minotaur off in the distance is also lost in the sauce. There come these Minos. There go both the Marauder Horsemen, leaving just the Chaos Feral Manticore. That's looking like GG. I don't think a Marauder winning front line is enough to, like, turn around all these Centaurs and Minos and stuff. Something else is getting healed here. It looks like Chaos Knights of Tzeentch are getting healed again. So that will take them to their healing cap. Needs more Doom Knights. You and your Doom Knights. You and your gosh darn Doom Knights. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch heal capped by the Fleshy Abundance, but now Doombull is here with his barbed knuckle boxing, dazing these guys. Minotaur's also jumping in, and with throwing X's coming over the top. That's probably a dead Chaos Knight of Tzeentch. There's nothing else. Beastmen still losing their front line, still getting slowly run down, which is the only thing keeping the balance of power out of army losses territory, but, like, all the stuff the Beastmen actually care about is doing fine. Still have a lot of Centaurs. Still have a full health Doombull. Still have a full health Mino and a half health Mino. These guys are currently beating up on a poor Manticore. What's your favorite Skaven unit and why is it Death Runners? Rattling Guns in theory, but they suck right now. But I like Daka. So probably Rattling Guns. Or Queek, but Queek also sucks. I just like the concept of a lot of bullets. Alright, losses hits. And that is an official win on the event for the Bonerippers. We'll still cast the last game I have here. Nice job, these folks. Minos did pretty well overall for Zegzi. Centaurs got really good engagements. Ungor Raiders didn't do too much. Or Spearman Herds didn't do too much either. For its current years, Manticores did pretty solid work. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch got rolled. Marauder Horsemen also got rolled. His Marauder frontline won. G. Already gave them their point. Shogunnik and Stormrunner. Stormrunner could make it a one-game series if he wins. By one game, I mean, it's 6-8. That's not how that works. It is if you think about how points work. Because if one more of us had won a game, it would take a point away from the enemy, give it to us, making it 7-7. So let's see if Stormrunner can do it. What do we got? Shogunnik on the Vampire Coast versus Stormrunner on the Dark Elves. A lot of Dark Elves tonight. And yet people are complaining about Grand Cathay, Kislev, Bretonia. I don't know. Seems like these Dark Elves are pretty OP. Damn, it's current year. You made us lose. Fuck, dude. Alright, for Shogunnik and the Bonerippers trying to cement their lead, we have a bunch of animated Hulks, Lamprey's Revenge, handgun mobs, including the Black Spot, then some bombers, some polearms, some regular mobs, 2 scurvy dogs, Count Nicklous on foot, with Wraithstorm, and then his summons and Invocation Heck. On the other side, Stormrunner, the pride of the boomers. We have Marathi with Melkoth Soulstealer and her bound Wand of Krydon. 2 Reaper Bolt Throwers, 3 Dark Shards, 2 Harpies, 1 which is Crows of Cain, front line of Bleak Swords, then Dark Riders, and Coldwind Dread Knights in the back line. Okay, Melkoth's trying to poke down the gunnery mob bombers, while multi-shot bolt throwers also shoot them. I guess the Lamprey's Revenge are out of range, so the bolt throwers don't have anything cool to shoot at just yet. What's your favorite Skaven unit? Why is it Death Runners? I answered this. I said it's Rattling Guns, even though they suck. I just like Rattling Guns in concept. I think they're hilarious. If you ask a third time, I'm going to ignore you. Because then that just means you're not listening. But I did answer this already. Alright, bombers crumbling a little bit as the bolt throwers continue to harass them. Now some dark shards are firing at these other bombers, but handgun mobs counter-firing dark riders getting a little bit of damage. Vermin lords because they don't exist. No, I like some of those Skaven units. I just don't like Skaven balance right now. So the Vampire Ghost taking a lot of damage. Nicklous did get a summon out quick, but Dark Shards plus Marathi Charge are going to deal with it pretty quickly. And even some Bleak Swords come back to hit them in the back. Wow. They apparently really fuck this summon. Other Harpies are diving in the backline, dealing with handguns, but Scurvy Dogs from Shogunate do rear charge them and get a lot of damage out, and the Crows of Cain are taking a ton of work from the Black Spot and other handgun mobs. Both sides actually taking insane amounts of damage, considering how early we are into the game. Dark Shard's already having to fall back away from the undead. What can the Coldwind Knights of Stormrunner do? Murderous Prowess is popped, though a lot of units aren't in melee just yet. It'll help some of these Bleak Swords hang in there for a little bit longer. And in come the Coldwind Dread Knights. Right now, only the Black Spot is shooting at this one, so they're not exactly going to get crossfired. But here come the other ones, and they stop dead. Ooh, they lost orders there. Need new ones. They need to be told where to go as they get shot with 3 handgun mobs, hit with polearms and animated hulks. That is a giant loss for the Dark Elves. What's your favorite Osorkin comment, and why is it that... What is your favorite unit, why is it Death Runners? That is my favorite Osorkin comment, it's true. Oscarson, sorry, not Osorkin. Ghost got it, methinks. Yeah, Animated Hulk's starting to run down. The Dark Shards, the Reaper Bolt Throwers are getting overrun. And Marathi's going to dive onto Nicklous, though actually he's a better duelist than she is, so she's probably going to get the worst end of this trade. She has a good number of debuffs, I suppose, but his anti-large versus her is real good. In comes the Doombolt. Does it swing wide and hit Marathi instead? Nope. It's Nicklous. Her Soul Stealer will hit him. But Lamprey's Revenge getting to fight Coldwind Dread Knights. They're more than happy to. Animated Hulks and nearby handguns also helping to peel these guys off. The Dark Elves are just in a bad way. Still have a Reaper Bolt Thrower that is technically online, but they're getting chased down by a pistol summon right now that's shooting at them as they walk forwards. Dark Shard's trying to save themselves. One of them's already offline. And I'm thinking that's it. Wraith Storm in from Nicklous to hit some clumped up Dark Shards. Good little damage there. And yeah, that's about it. Nothing else to see here. Undead still moving in an unholy tide. Dark Elves down to 1 healthy Dark Shard, a half-health Dark Shard, a Bolt Thrower, and Marathi. They cannot possibly win. Soul Stealer out from Marathi. She tries to heal up. Dark Elves are kiting back. They're getting some decent damage here and there, but it is Ogre. Good win from Shogunate. Good job. Handgunners and Nicklous did pretty well. Dogs and Animated Hulks just ran at things and kept them busy. For Stormrunner, his Coldwind Dread Knights got shredded. Reaper Bolt Throwers did okay. Dark Shards got pushed back for the most part. Dark Riders also both got murdered. So that's GG. GG's, lads. Final score is 9-5. Boop. And then these two don't exist. They're not real. They can't hurt you. I think they forgot this was happening, and then I missed their replay, so all parties fucked that up, but it's okay. Wouldn't have mattered, even if Blood Penguin came in and won it for the Boomers. We're still down 9-6, so not a big deal. Thanks to everybody who played in this. It was fun. I like how the scores ended up. Boneripper start, the Boomer comeback, Boneripper finish. No zigzag about it. Just like, barp, barp, done. Oh shit! Oh, you see that? You see that? It's all planned. It's all planned. Look at this. Look at this. What does this sign make? No, I don't want black. Fuck that. Pink. What does this sign make? Oh, it's a greater than sign. Bonerippers greater than Boomers. That's funny. That's funny. That's politics. And that's funny. Alright. Leave me alone. I'm leaving. Yeah. Another video came out while we were all here. What was it? Was it a good one? Do I even have good ones? Okay, that's updating. Oh, it's the Bulls one. Sure. I'll send you all there. Edit. Details. No, it's customize. Boom. Boo. YouTube won't let me redirect you to my own channel. Lame. Anyway, go watch my video that just came out. Goodbye. Are you never playing Human Boy? Yes. I played in this stream, actually. Yeah. I played in this one. I won my game. Goodbye, everybody. I'm hoping to stream more with the upcoming patch. I've just been crazy busy starting the new job.